What is going on, everybody? Rod J back in the house. Got a treat for you guys tonight. In the words of Ed Sullivan, we got a really big show. Big show. So, actually, bringing to you live tonight these guys that I've known for a while now, coming from the Daddy Porter YouTube channel and a blog, which we'll also get into in a little bit here. But I've got Greg and I've got Doug. What is going on, guys? And welcome to the channel here.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for having us on, dude.
Oh, it was great to have you guys on. So, decided tonight we would kick it a little bit, kind of talking about some of the things you guys are doing that you're bringing to the table in the beer world. Kind of find out a little bit more about Daddy Porter. If you guys don't know Daddy Porter, then you'll definitely want to check him out. So we'll get the channel and stuff dropped out here too, so you can get over there and subscribe to his channel and see the good stuff. They usually will run Friday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern, as a part of the week, but then there's other stuff that happens during the course of the week where various guests come on and they kind of kick it and they go through some beer. And I myself have been on there. I can tell you it's a great, entertaining time. So great to have these guys on here for sure. And to kick it off, I guess we'll start off before we get into some of the details. Let's share with the people what you're drinking tonight.
Doug first.
Oh, I was going to give it to you first. After you. No, after you. No, after you.
What?
So I cracked open an Equilibrium Proton American Pale Ale. I believe it's at 4.8% ABV. So put my glass on because I'm an old man. I can't read. Yep, 4.8%. Pours out really nice. Got all the characteristics you want. Smells really nice and citrusy, and it is crisp, really good, really drinkable. I'm not a pale ale person either, so that's saying something.
Just goes to show you can always find beer that you like in all kinds of styles.
Right, quite true. Mm-hmm. And I have to give Greg credit because Greg's always been kind of hyping pale ales, and I always kind of like, And then just being on the show with him, I've kind of branched out and had stuff that I never really thought was styles that I liked, and I found a lot of stuff that I liked that just wasn't in my wheelhouse before. So thank you, Greg.
Very awesome. And where are they out of, Doug, as well?
They're out of Middletown, New York, which is about 30 minutes, according to my wife, from where we live. So,
is her name Alexa too?
I got a good laugh from her, so well played.
I'm here for the jokes, people. I'm here for the jokes. So, hey, Greg, what do you got?
I have Surly Darkness, barrel aged in rye and whiskey barrels. I believe this is the 15-year version. So it's been hanging out a while for my in my beer fridge for a long ass time.
I feel like you're talking nerd
early, so we can maybe talk about that later. But this is their darkness is their stout. It's fantastic. So I started a little bit before showtime here, but the head was it was really nice. It's still pretty nice for 5 years. This is roasty. You can tell some of the whiskey. It's not really as pronounced. A little bit of it fell off, but it is really drinkable. It's nice. It's perfect, Rod, for this time of year. Around fireplace in the fall.
And what's the ABV on that one again?
No, I mean, it still has that roasty notes. Something big. It's not telling me here, man. I'll look this up and get back to you. I would say it's like 12ish, but I'm not seeing it here. But I'm gonna look that up when we talk.
What about can I ask if it's how boozy is it? Is the booziness kind of tempered with it?
Yeah, it's not
where it's like just freaking booze smacking you all around.
No. Man, I'm telling you, I'm still getting that roastiness and a little bit of chocolate too. Actually, believe it or not. And again, like I said, it's really smooth. I bet you it was really hot, when it came out first, but it's smooth now. It's great. I'm just gonna sip this one the whole show.
Just one. Oh.
Yeah, but that thing.
I don't know. Ron likes to go long. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends.
We'll see how we play out. Right? We'll see how.
All right.
It's a school night, and so last night I was only expecting to go just maybe like a little hour or so. We ended up going a couple hours with Eric from Lord Hobo just because it just flows. That's how it flows sometimes on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely were courteous and careful at the time, but the new world, I get to work from home, so the commute is very short. So I can go a little bit later. And for everybody that does tune in, we'll definitely try to get to your questions and comments and stuff as we go. I know TJ was actually there and said, hope you're drinking some good beers. And of course, that's what we always try to do. Now, the beer that I'm going to actually crack open first, didn't know which one I wanted to start out with. I've been kind of on a peanut butter kick lately, but I think I'm going to hold off on that one. And I'm actually going to break out with this one here. Although the new one just came out for them for the fall season, I still got a couple of these left. It's a Dragon's Milk Solera.
Yeah. So
this one actually 10% ABV. And of course, if you know Dragon's Milk, you just know they're pretty solid on their stuff anyway. This is the Feder Aged Ale. So 10%, usually they're at 11, so a little bit less there. Basically, they say aged in a series of American oak fetters using a blended technique known as Solera. Nuanced flavors of caramel, toffee, and fig create an experience made to be savored. The legendary ale will continue to evolve with each pull from the fetters, becoming more complex over time. So that's how they kind of write it up. You get some good interns to write stuff up on these labels, I've noticed. So yeah, but I've had one of these already. Very damn tasty beer. If you can still get it out there, highly recommend. It's just got a nice smoothness to it all the way through. You really do get that caramel and toffee. So I went in there. I always do my thing when I look in front of the cooler. I see which beers are kind of talking to me, and I just felt like grabbing it. It said, get me out of here. I'm ready to go. So that's why I went with this one here. And that's what ends up happening. But you look at it, you get a nice ruby type color beer, get that nice head on there. Let it go down, a little bit of a kind of a tannish head, nice aroma, caramel toffee, that fig, you're getting dark fruits on the nose. Very nice. Not to kind of what you would get in a barley wine, but kind of in that way toward a barley wine, which I'm a big barley wine fan too. So very pleased with this one from Dragon's Milk. Of course, they're out of Holland, Michigan, the Mitten State.
I've been there. It's fantastic. Yeah. Great place.
Yeah. You've been to New Holland Brewing?
Yeah, I've actually been in the Dragon's Milk Cave.
Wow. That's all.
That was, and Ron, while we're here, I might as well tell a story. I got to give a shout out to my friend Steph Harding. She is the owner of Mitten Brew, which is a lifestyle kind of magazine around the beer industry in Michigan. I met her at the Beer Bloggers Conference. So I called her up. And I was like, hey, I'm coming up to Michigan. So she literally, like a month before I was coming out, sent me an itinerary of where we're going, when we're going, and I was like, okay. So I just jumped off with her, and I ended up at New Holland Brewing. I met the social media guy, so I got a little connection with him, and then they took me on a tour. And they put me in the middle of the Dragon's Milk Cave. It's just barrels up high, barrels deep. You can't see anything. It was just amazing, Rod. And it was funny too, because Doug knows one of my things with New Holland is that I love them. Don't get me wrong. Don't take this as a criticism. But one of the things that really kind of gets me about them is that they can mix. It feels to me that they can mix anything together, and it'll work with Dragon's Milk. It can be like sriracha and like anchovies, and you know what? That's just gonna work. So one of the funny things is, and Doug and I always go back and forth because Doug's like, "Look, I got the New Holland. It's orange with hibiscus," and I'm just rolling my eyes. And then at the end of the day, Doug's like, "Man, this is really, really good. You got to try it." And then you go look at the comments, and when everybody's talking on Untapped, and you can see everybody loves it. So like that's my thing about New Holland is like I love that and I even told the brewers there, I was like, how do you guys come up with this? Like, how do you come up with these crazy ideas? They're like, we just try everything. Obviously, we have a system where, not everything goes out, but we try the craziest stuff. We have a panel. We do it like, every 2 months. He was just telling me all, and I was like, you guys are crazy here. You guys come up with some, it was funny because I'm like, you guys come up with some crazy recipes. And they kind of looking at me weird, like, because I'm just like, I don't really care, man. Like, but it works. And you're pushing boundaries. Even still, I think they're one that's pushing boundaries. So, and it's kind of hard to push boundaries nowadays, isn't it, Rod? Given all the breweries and all the different stuff we're seeing, and everybody trying to be unique. It's really hard to still be one of those quote old school ones that are still pushing boundaries. So, cheers to New Holland, man. I haven't had any of their stuff recently, but they're just, I don't know, they're one of the great ones in my opinion. In the Midwest.
Yeah. I forgot what the new flavor is for the new Dragon's Milk, but again, sounds pretty interesting. It just can't. It's like, New Holland is one of the breweries. Oh, and just so you guys, I saw like in the comment, I like to have a little bit of ambiance. So there's a little bit of a low music playing in the background. That's all someone said. Is there music playing? Like, so yeah, I create a little bit. Like if you're in a restaurant, you like to have a little music in the background. If you have a nice time, having that little music, it's just a little bit of ambiance. But New Holland is like one of those beers or breweries that when I go out there and it's like the new Dragon's Milk is out, just grab a 4-pack. Don't even think about it. It's just like, a new 4-pack, throw it in the cart. Yep. It's just, there's certain breweries that are like that. You're like, I got to check out what this new batch is going to be like. And New Holland for me is on that. Speaking of New Holland, one of our people in the chat is Vanessa Kitty, who's a huge fan of the Dragon's Milk. So she loves Dragon's Milk. So she loves New Holland. She's doing her part to keep them in business. And Vanessa, this is the one I'm actually having. I don't know if you've gotten it yet, but it's the Solera. This is basically the summer one they did, and the new fall one just came out from the Dragon's Milk edition.
Doug, you see those yet?
No, I'm going to tell you, they did that. We got the first round of their new batch. Like, they every year they have their batches that they put out with the specialty ones. And I got the first one, which was, I can't remember if it was bourbon or rum barrel aged. I think it was rum barrel aged. The second one was a Scotch barrel aged one, which I'm a huge Scotch fan. So I was like, this is great. I can't find it. I can't find regular Dragon's Milk here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened in upstate New York that all of a sudden we're not getting that stuff, but I'm a very sad panda because I love Dragon's Milk.
I think you would like this one because it has a little bit of a touch kind of in that Scotch category kind of way too. It's got a little bit of that. Like, I think of when you said that, I do get a little bit like of a wee heavy type feel in there too. So
yeah. Well, there is an Omegang also makes a Solera that they put out this year. So I don't know if that's going to be a new thing. That's the first I'd ever heard of the Solera style. Like I hadn't. Had you?
First time I heard was the Dragon's Milk. That's the first time I heard of that style. Yeah. So Omegang may be doing it now as well, and maybe some other people will get into it. You just things have lately. Like I said, I had my other beers a peanut butter one, but peanut butter popping off like crazy in places I've seen. I'm seeing more and more peanut butter beers getting dropped in. I actually got one from one of Greg's favorite places, I believe, Central Waters.
Oh,
I got one. I don't got the beers downstairs.
I love when people pull out Central Waters on me.
If they were here, like my wife's like, you'll never leave the office if you keep the beers up there with you. So they're down in the basement. Yeah, I get some steps when I go to get the beer. I get steps when I bring it back. I don't feel as guilty when I drink them, right? So,
however, you have to justify it, man. It's okay.
It's all about the bit. Let me tell you what this one is out there, Greg, because you're gonna definitely want to find this one. I actually shared it on my last unboxing video, and it was just like, again, I saw it and it was like, I didn't buy any pumpkin beers this year until now. And when you hear what I got, then you'll be like, okay, now I can understand why you did that. Something about Untapped, you can keep your list on there of all the stuff you keep in the cellar when you buy stuff, which is really cool.
I was wondering what you're doing.
Central Waters. It's like I'm flipping a book. I'm licking my finger there. Right?
You're ready to deal some cards.
It's called the Wendy Coffee Pumpkin Milkshake IPA.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. And it was just like, I'm intrigued. I don't know what to do. It's just so much stuff happening here. But yeah, I'm a big coffee fan. I'll drink pumpkin as we get now into this kind of temperature, but I didn't really want to get pumpkin or one of the other ones up standard. So here, and you're going to throw it into a milkshake IPA to add a little bit of that creamy base to it. Yeah, so I got a 6-pack of that. It was just like scoop it, scoop and score like I was in an NFL game.
Greg's always told me if you can get any Central Water stuff, just get it because you just can't go wrong with it. So
yeah, and I think this might be the first Central Waters I actually purchased. So
Rod, can I ask you a question, Rod?
Sure.
So you said you've been seeing peanut butter pop off where you're at. Are we seeing? So are the primary styles for these peanut butter what porter and what stout, or are we seeing anything?
Porter and stouts have been the main ones that I've actually seen break off. A stout is still technically a porter, so it's kind of like they're still playing with the same recipes that are kicking it up and putting the malts and everything, right? But
any other styles though you see any peanut butter introduced yet?
Any what? Peanut butter?
Any other styles besides the porters and the stouts? Have you seen peanut butter?
Not really. Not really.
I'm waiting for that.
Kind of a weird thing. I can kind of see them starting to mess around maybe with like if they're doing like a coffee type blonde or something like that where you can maybe screw around a little bit, but mainly the porters and the stouts are the main thing. I don't think you want to. I don't know if you want to get them in this style. I mean, you can never know what's coming up for the next IPA. So there could be a peanut butter IPA being made right now. There's the peanut butter jelly beers that are being done too. So
I'm waiting to see that peanut butter creep into other styles, kind of like coffee did. Because remember, coffee started in porters and stouts, and then all of a sudden I saw them in a coffee cream ale? Okay. Yeah. And then I don't know, it took me a little while to come around to those though. Right.
Yeah.
Really. But now
I can kind of see it with the cream ale. I can kind of see it in the cream ale style.
Yeah.
Base to it. Yeah, you could probably get away with that.
Yeah. Peanut butter is an interesting one. I want to see if they can, get into more styles a little bit. But you're gonna have to be real subtle about that, I believe.
Yeah. Well, the problem that I run into with some of them is some have a good natural taste to them and some have the artificial taste to them. So whether or not they're putting the peanut butter in or putting the peanut butter flavoring comes through on some. So, but like the one I got here is an Imperial peanut butter stout. The one I had last night was a really good Imperial one as well. Some breweries are getting them down and, some aren't, but that's brewing. Some people throw darts and you see what happens. And another man's goal is another man's drain pour. I don't know. It's just what happens. People still drink shandies. I don't know why, but they do. I mean, it's just
in the summer.
In the summer, I'll have a couple, but outside of that, that's
in the summer.
For me, they just get too slurpy after a point, so it's kind of like, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only beer I've had drain pour at a bar before, like because I wanted the glass. It was the Line of Cool Summer Shandy. It had a pretty cool glass. Tried to buy the glass without the beer. They said we can't do it without the beer. So I said, can you put another beer into the glass? Oh, we can't do it. I'm going to put it because of the contract. And can you put a little in and fill it up? Like, all right, go in and put it in there. I had like a quarter of it. Okay, pour the rest out and everything. She was like, really? Like, yeah, pour it out. Go in and rinse it out, or I'll take it when I leave. Like, she was like, you really don't like shandies? Like, not at all. Not at all.
What about rattlers?
I don't have a problem with rattlers. That's the funny thing. I can enjoy some rattlers. Like the Stiegel rattlers are pretty good one. Moosehead has a nice little rattler. I've had some rattlers that are pretty much fine. It's just something with the shandies and that thing. Because I like to have a beer you can sit and enjoy for a bit. And it becomes too syrupy. It becomes too sweet after a point for the ones I've had. Now, maybe I've had more of the big macro ones. I need to get more of the crafted ones, maybe. I don't know. But the ones I've had thus far, like I said, I'm not going to knock the whole style. It's just like I haven't been impressed by them. A lot of people like the ones from Jolly Traveler, which I haven't really had a lot of those. So maybe that's a feel. It's kind of like seltzers. I'm not a big fan of those, but I've had a couple places that are pretty decent. So.
Yeah, I don't know why, but shandies and rattlers always taste fairly similar to me. I don't know if
you
that too.
Well, one is like the lemonade, and the other one is like I forgot for the other part of the other recipe, but yeah.
Sometimes rattlers come in grapefruit too. I see, and different ones. I thought. Sorry, Stupid Liney's has a grapefruit one. Maybe I'm wrong. I call them Stupid Liney's.
I've even had some of the beer cocktails, and I was okay with some of those, but I don't know. It's just It becomes, like I said, it might be because maybe their formula. I just feel like it's too sugary after a point, you know.
So I got a good story about this, and Doug's probably heard it like 4 or 5 times. Long story short, I was at Line and Google's. And we did a tour, and they go. I don't know if you guys have probably never been there. They have one of those. Line and Google's has one of those breweries that's like up in a building, and then like they start the brewing at the top, and then it goes down to each level. And then at the bottom, you have your produced beer. Each level has, they do the grain up at the top that drops down. So long story short, we get up to the top. They show us all this. We get to like where the fermenters are, Rod, and I'm pretty sure it was Jacob Line and Google was there, and he's like, "Hey, it was our home brewing yearly tour, where the homebrew crew gets in a bus and we go to all these different breweries." So we end up at Line and Google's, and he's like, by the fermenters, and he's like, "Here, try this." And everybody's trying it, and we're like, "Damn, this is good. What is this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's the shandy without any sugar in it." And Rod, it was one of the best beers I had that whole year. The base shandy of Line and Google's is an amazing beer. And I even said, I was like, "When are we going to release this?" He's like, "Oh, we're not going to release this. We're going to add lemon to it and ship it out." And so you're not ever going to do it. And you're like, "No." I was like, mind blown, Rod, because it reminded me of remember when Sculpin used to be you remember Sculpin and that Sculpin,
yeah,
and it used to be the bomb, and then it came out with unfiltered Sculpin with nothing in it, and I don't know if you had that, Rod, but that was fantastic. I like that better than I like the Sculpin, and that's my analogy for shandies, which is I like that base, but it's just too like I'm gonna riff off of what you said. It's kind of too sugary for me or syrupy, where I feel like a little too sweet. So, but the base of that beer is fantastic. I can attest to that.
See, that's the version I need then. That's the one I need to
try. Right. So I know he said no, but I've been waiting for it. One of these days it's going to drop, and I'm going to be screaming and hollering up here in Wisconsin, sending it everywhere. I'm going to be so happy. But I agree with you about again the general of the shandy, but I think clearly. I mean, that pays the bills up there at Line and Google. So clearly, somebody likes it.
Right. There's a lot of people that do like it for sure. I got friends that get excited when it comes out. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So cheers. Yeah, it just ain't my thing, but cheers. Cheers.
Right. Buddy Gilbert, cheers pools in the house. He's actually up in Canada, so some of the beers they actually get there. But Vanessa has said Dragon's Milk has become a staple beer in her. Yeah, she's actually, we go out and we buy 6-packs and 12-packs. She's actually looking for kegs. Like her discussion started, can I get this keg? And we self-searchly found where she can get a keg. Vanessa builds a lot of things. Like you could literally live on her in her backyard out in the deck or wherever, because she builds like stands. He builds a keg into like the porch type stand. She's building like a forge out there. She's got all this stuff. She's always building things, and it's just like a fire pit. And it's kind of like we used to joke like if shit ever went bad, like we always talk about different things happening in our society. Everybody's kind of agreed that watches the show, we all go to Vanessa's house and she'll know what to do for the next thing because she can handle everything. She's like the ultimate she's MacGyver. She can make anything, and it's just like. Whatever Vanessa said is how she's already deemed the leader. So it's just got to get there is the big thing.
It sounds like a great place to hang out during COVID. Outdoors with a keg and a fireplace. Oh, yeah, bring it.
Yeah, she's on Instagram under Vanessa M. Kitty, and she posts the stuff she's making up there. It just blows your mind, like some of the stuff she's doing. Yeah, so you check her out over there.
Yeah, I'm going to follow her right now.
Tuna said peanut butter is the nectar of the gods, almost better than Roadhead. Wow. I've got an eclectic crew of people that watch the show.
Wow.
Nick Gilbert said, is Roadhead similar to Road Pops? So
not a road soda, man.
Yeah. And Vanessa said she was going to search for that dragon. Yeah, see if you can find it, because I know the new one, like I said, is coming out, so I know how much longer this one's out there. And Tuna says, LOL. Peanut butter milk stout from Belgian Beaver goes great with the Reese's peanut butter cup s'mores. And that is actually a beer on my list. I just haven't been able to find it yet from Belgian Beaver. So.
It's a good one.
So you both have had that one, or
I haven't, but I know people that could get it for me.
There you go. Oh, I know what I was going to say you too as well, Doug. So when I was picking up stuff, and I probably should have got it if I had so much beer in the cart already. The beer, and I'll ask you guys this question after I give this little story here. The beer that got me really more into craft beer, which Doug will know, is Ithaca and their Flower Power from out of New York. So that was the one that kind of got me into it. And at the store, they actually just came out with the Ithaca variety pack. I may have to go back this weekend. All around Flower Power. So you have the base and 3 different versions that they did from the Flower Power. I don't know if you've seen that yet or not, but it looks pretty interesting on what they did there. But for you guys, like, what was the craft beer or the beer that got you into craft beer? Was it there one that made you want to go dig a little deeper to find out what's going on over here?
Yeah, mine was my very first one was Dead Guy Ale.
Rogue.
Oh,
And that's a fairly common one. And I have to tell you, I had that, I'm thinking 20 years ago. Like, literally, it's been a long time. That was the one I was like, ooh, this is different. This doesn't taste like Schlitz, which is much better. Had some flavor, character. What's ironic about that is a pale ale. And that was, now I'm just like, for a while, I was like, pale ale's me. But that's what brought me in. And actually, the one I was getting ready to open is actually another one that was a gateway to beers outside of our country.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good one, too. Yeah.
Look at Gerard, and I was like, oh.
And the reason was, Greg, why do you think I saw this and bought it?
Because Doug is a sucker for beer labels.
Well, it's not just the labels, it's the bottle. It's that cool freaking white.
Yeah.
Like it was made out of cement. Like So yeah, that was the first foray into anything outside of the US other than, Molson or something like
Heineken.
that.
Yeah.
And of course, it's
you like to experience the Belgian ales like I do.
Or St. Pauli Girl. That's another one.
Yeah, that was a shit beer, though.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
I remember when I had one of those, I'm not having this again.
I've had it I had it fairly recently. Just be like, oh, what is this? Oh, okay, I'm good. Oh, look at that.
So pretty.
I'm drinking.
Poured it like almost right with the freaking lip of the glass. That was unintentionally. That was unintentionally good.
So Doug and I have flipped tonight. Doug is a big, barrel aged drinker. He's an ager more than me, and I'm more of in the Belgian ales, and IPAs. So we flipped tonight. It's really good.
So what was the beer for you?
Oh, the beer for me. Oh, Doug, you wanna talk about that before I
go ahead, man? I'm just enjoying it. I think most of the people who have watched this show probably have had delirium tremens, but
so it's just a normal delirium. Yeah, it's
fucking awesome. I don't really have to say much more than that. It's a great Belgian ale. So
I had a little sample of that at the malt house, and I was like, "Can I have a sample of that?" I didn't know what I was getting into, and I was like, like the clouds parted, Rod, and the sun came down. And it was like, man. So my favorite, my craft, my segue from craft from I was a Molson Canadian binge drinker. I used to just drink a whole bunch of Molson Canadian, preferably in glass. That kind of led me to headaches. So I was like, oh, I need to do something else. So it was New Glarus Spotted Cow, which is one that everyone knows. It's a fantastic lawnmower, cheap, approachable, lager-ish ale with a little bit of, flavor. Too much though, not a palate, wrecker by any means, but something that you can slam. And that's what I was looking for when I was still in that slamming beer, thing where you pick up 32 and you drink 27 of them in one night.
I missed it.
Right, I've grown up as far as beer goes. So now now it's only 21 out of 32, but No. But you know what I mean, though? Like when we were younger, we were more, more into like, having one beer, having one beer just the whole night, and just drinking through that. Whereas now, I don't know, right? You give me that feel. I'm pretty sure, like, and I know Doug does this, the mix of 6, or if I pick up a 6-pack, I have 3 going out. Meaning I'm going to give them, I got my neighbor, I give some beers to. I got my social media lady that my lady literally drops off beer out of stoop, and I give her beer, and she helps me with the social media. So like when I buy a 6-pack, 3 of them are like in my head, 3 of them are gone. One of them, whether it be shipping to Doug or ship, ship or share or any of that. So I don't think about beer as I used to when I first started. I think of it more of like like sharing and not drinking too much of one, trying to get a whole bunch of different ones. So if I switch with my neighbor, I'm like looking in his refrigerator, like, what are you? Come on, can you give me one of those? All right. I mean, even if it's dumb shit like what's that apple ale that everybody drinks? I have it. I would never buy it. Yeah, I would never buy it.
Red apple ale.
Yeah. Like there was one time where I gave him some beers. He's like, "Oh, I got a red apple." And I'm like, "All right, give me a red apple." And I just drank it. I would never buy it, Rod, but just to have it and have that exchange and just to have something different. So, Spotted Cow is the answer, and then now I'm just all over the place. So,
but I kind of like that you laid the groundwork for a beer economy. I'm enjoying that. I'm like, you start putting some values on stuff. What can I get for this Muddy Nose barley wine? What can I get for this Boss Tweed? What can I get? You start raising it. That's going to cost you 2 or 3 to get one of these, my friend.
Mm-hmm. And I don't have to tell you the stories about how great Spotted Cow travels. Now, I don't know if you got a beer like you have, but Spotted Cow travels like gold. You leave because they don't distribute out of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You leave Wisconsin with New Glarus, and you got gold in your trunk, man.
Everybody hears about it, and then it's out there. It's kind of like Treehouse or something. A Treehouse or a Heady Topper beer or something. Finding Elder, you have to pay up for that. I mean, that's definitely going through with gold. You go to make a deal. It's like you open up a briefcase of Pliny Elder. You're like, all right, it's all here.
Right. I wouldn't even say it doesn't have the name, but I would even say like New Holland would travel well. Like the Dragon's Milk. Now again, it doesn't have that name. Outside of the Midwest, I don't know if the Dragon's Milk has that name.
We got people out in California that want to get.
Okay. Because I would love if I lived in Michigan. I would pop a whole bunch in my trunk and just roll. Be like, you ever have milk? Yeah. So, that's where beer is good when it's regional, and we can go back and forth. And there's stuff that Doug can't get that I can, and vice versa. So that's fun.
Yeah, it's like last night when we had Eric on from Lord Hobo. We were deciphering. Where are you at again? People were like, can I get it here? Can I get it there? Like, people knew a Lord Hobo. It's a matter of where it's at. So, farming the different states and everything. Let's see here. D'Angelo's in the house. What is going on, D'Angelo? It's been a while, my friend. What is going on? He's actually keeping it real, drinking a 211, 42 ounce, 8.1 ABV, the big one. So,
wow.
I haven't had a Steel 211 in a long time. So,
wow.
But you know what? To pick it up for shits and giggles sometimes ain't bad either. Yeah. So joke is about it. We always make jokes around Zima and stuff. So my buddy Tunis is like act like he knows Zima. Yeah. So one of my buddies who's actually here, the Eclectic Beard had just came in a little bit ago. His wife, Erie, she's like a big Zima fan. And so we try to get her on streams all the time. And I told her if Zima comes back again, we will do a show with me and you drinking Zima. So she's hoping it comes back again. Me, not so much. I'm a man of my word. So if it does show up again, we will do something there. So yeah.
When are you going to do your Crystal Pepsi episode too?
Yeah, pretty much. I still store Zima's recycled Crystal Pepsi, so I've always believed there. Just they threw something in there. We got Skinny Chef Shane in the house. What is going on, my friend? And Shane actually runs a cooking channel here on YouTube. So if you guys ever want to learn about some grilling stuff, check him out because he throws some good stuff down there as well. I'm not sure if he's been doing as much lately because I got to catch up on some of his videos. But what goes good with grill stuff is beer. So you'll get a lot of grilling guys that'll pop by as well. Let's see here. Let me see. Tunis and another day of getting blocked by Tunis. Tunis wants me getting blocked out. Now everybody gets Tunis humor, It's a new world today. The whole politically incorrect or correct. What can you say? You can't do all in the family jokes on some channels anymore. People get upset. So you gotta know where you can bring that humor. And then Vanessa was saying who would actually block you, Steven. So you must have to drink. The Browns are doing good now, though. The Browns are. I put it under hashtag 20 things you wouldn't believe, but the Browns are kicking ass from everything I know.
Greg sporting a shirt for it and all. He's like,
he's right,
man, Cleveland.
Oh, he's right.
How did you become a Browns fan now? Like being in Wisconsin.
Well, so this all starts back.
Those team.
I was born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So growing up, I never liked any of those teams because I wanted to fight Eagles fans because I knew really young that they were a little rough.
I grew up in South Jersey. I didn't know you grew up in Philly. So yeah, I know what you're talking about when you talk about the fans there.
Right. I knew really, really young, Rob, that I'd rather fight with Eagle fan than be an Eagle fan. So
yeah,
I never picked an Eagle. The only Philly team that I really liked was the Dr. J Sixers, and Moses Malone and all them. I was in on them.
Tony, Mo Cheeks,
for sure, Mo Cheeks, and I was also in on the early Phillies, Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose. I was in on that, but after that, I kind of left the Phillies. I kind of left Philly teams, and I actually was. I know I don't want to even say it on live stream. I actually was a Steeler fan for 1 or 2 years, and then I jumped over to the Browns because I liked that they had the helmet was shit. There's no mascot, and they just ran the ball and played D, and that's what I liked back then was like just that old school. We're gonna run the ball down your throat and play defense, and that's what they did, and I liked them. So 50 years later, they moved and sucked and all that. So I'm being 4-1. And that's it. I'm enjoying it. It's great. And I'm enjoying it while it lasts, and that's it. Cheers.
I was going to say, you must have been a fan during the Mack and Biner years.
Mack and Biner and the Dogtown and
Brian
Marty Schottenheimer, Bill Belichick. All that. Art Modell's the stupid-ass owner. All that.
Yeah. Your quarterback was Brian Sipe.
Brian Sipe and then Bernie Kosar.
Yeah, Sipe was early before Kosar, though.
Which back in the Tecmo days, I did like to use the Browns some because you had Mack and Biner, but then you had Frank Minifield as well on defense. And you had Metcalf returning the punts.
Yeah. Longhorn, Foghorn, Langhorn was wide out. Oh man, you guys are taking me back here. Love it. So yes, we are really good this year. I'm happy. Oh yeah.
You've never met Greg. Greg does not give two shit. He'll go right out public with that on.
You know what though? Green Bay fans, I wore my Brown stuff up to Green Bay, up to Lambeau, and Green Bay fans were fantastic. I didn't really feel that like I would never do that in Philly, just so you know. I would never wear opposing teams stuff in Philly's stadium ever. I wore all my stuff to Green Bay. I was by myself. I was drunk at the end. I was all over the place, and I made it home, and it was great. And I didn't really feel like, right, I didn't feel where I was, like, unsafe. I didn't feel like people were, it was fun back and forth. But I guess maybe that's because I'm a Browns fan. I don't know if it would have been the same if I was a Vikings or a Bears fan up there, so I don't know how that rolls. Because they're more, Green Bay cares more about, Bears and the Vikings fans. So I'm sure that's more of an inflamed thing than Cleveland because we pay them once every 4 years. So.
Yeah, but I mean, they're all still kind of current. I mean, Philly was a bad reputation. I mean, not everywhere to stand and get like booed and batteries get thrown at them, and
not everyone
gets booed.
For a long time, Philly was the only stadium with the jail inside, right? So,
Rod, you stole my thunder. I was gonna say, not every stadium has a court in it. That stadium used to have, right?
So from what I know now, I think Oakland or San Fran is now worse apparently because there's been like a lot of stuff happens at those games where
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that spills over to baseball too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it spills over to baseball with the Padres and the A's and the Giants. I mean, they're really, really heated out there as far as that goes. Yeah.
Why would a Padres fan get upset? What if they won anything?
That's why they're pissed.
I think there's a recurrent theme. The Padres primary color is brown.
Yeah, maybe. But then the Browns are orange though. So except for their pants.
I was trying to dig it, Greg. That didn't work.
Oh, well, I thought going into the way 2020 was going, it wouldn't surprise me if the Browns and the Lions were in the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
Apparently, the Lions didn't get that memo, but the Browns are.
No, the Lions didn't get the memo yet. The Lions have a horrible coach, though. Oh my goodness, he's bad.
They've had some terrible ones there. Yeah,
they just keep making mistake after mistake. It's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Barry retired. People were surprised, like, why would he win the state? He's got nothing around him. He might as well go and retire now. So, he said, Herman Moore's not coming back? Well, I ain't coming back. Shit, no. Gilbert said, good beer there. He's talking about the Trainman. Said that was a summer crush in this year for a good reason.
Oh,
those are so sweet.
Great summer crusher. Yep.
Yeah. And then students, I'll be nice. I don't want to scare all Rod's friends in one shot. I don't think you can scare Greg and Doug. Trust me. I think we have on Facebook.
I've heard everything about the Browns. Shoot, it's cool.
Student says, I need to move to Daddy Porter's neighborhood so I can get beer delivery. He wants to be your neighbor if you're dropping off beers.
Yeah, he's right. Right, he's right.
Hey, Greg drove from Madison.
He said probably a lot of good beer given away. Yeah, he gets good beer. So yeah.
I mean, Greg drove from Madison. Greg drove from Madison, Wisconsin to my house and brought me like a case of beer. Here you go, man. Like, okay. Like he's not shy or bad. He's like he just wants to share the wealth, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too that I was going to ask. Like, so for those watching, like Greg is like a road warrior. Like, Greg seems to always be traveling. Like, how did you get all into that? Like, do you have a goal? Do you set out? Do you plan each year where you want to hit places? Like, because you'll put up stuff. I'm on Facebook. He's like, oh, Greg's going from blah to blah, blah to blah. I was like, dude, it's kind of like, how do you get that all put together? You just like saying, you know what, this week I'm out. Let's just shoot them and let's see what they got.
That's cool. But the answer is I started to I go to all these different conferences, right? You know, I've been to Fresh Fest, I go to the Beer Bloggers Conference, I go to that 2.0. So what I started to do was I started to realize, especially these beer conferences, like I want to bring beer and take beer home. So like that means that I should just road trip as opposed to, you know, going through the whole, you know, I don't mind flying, don't get me wrong. So I just started doing road trips right to my conferences and my different places. So then when you do a road trip, you know, you can stop everywhere. You can stop at all these breweries and stuff. So it was funny because it really all started but the whole idea about doing road trips started last year. The Beer Bloggers Conference was in Montana, and I had waited to do all of my my trips and stuff, and or I'm sorry, my airline, my travel itinerary and all that, and I waited too late. Looking at the airlines, it was like $800, Rod, for like a round trip ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the lady, I'm like, I'm not going to the Beer Bloggers Conference. And she's like, why? That's your people. That's one of your things. You're a beer blogger. Why aren't you going? What's the problem? I'm like, I don't want to spend $800 for a ticket. She's like, well, why don't you just road trip? It's only 24 hours. And I'm like, and it was 22. Right? So I don't know. She actually really made me think about it because I was just like, oh, I'm not going to go. It's too much. So I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, why not? So I ended up going from here, stopping in Bismarck, Montana, North Dakota, and then heading out to Montana. And like, I did that, and it was just, one of those things, man, where it's just like, I love being on the road. I love traveling. I love bringing home beer. I love having that beer. And then again, so I brought home all this Montana beer back to Wisconsin, and then I just did what I usually do. I just gave most of it away. I keep some for myself, but you know me, Rod. I can only drink one beer or two beers in a row, and I'm kind of, ready for the for the next. So yeah, I don't know. It just started out. I just go to my different things. So Fresh Fest. We were trying to go there this year, but it never happened. Rod was trying to go the year before, and Rod, we can talk about that.
Everything was paid for. Yeah,
I met, and this is how me and Rod met, is because Rod was on. You were either on the list or you were mixed in with Fresh Fest. You were going,
Mhm.
and I think I saw that you were an attendee or something, and then or I thought we hooked up or something, and you said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Fresh Fest." But what happened is Rod had to pull out real late because Rod got an injury. Something happened to him. So then I went to Fresh Fest looking for Rod, and I'm pretty sure I didn't find you. And then I come back, and you're like, "Man, I was trying to get there, and I never did." And I was like, "Oh, that's why I never saw you." Okay. And then so we went. So then after that, I was like, we were corresponding back and forth, and I was like, "Man, you got to go this year." And then the COVID hit. So
yeah. Then they did the virtual. I didn't even realize they did the virtual. I ended up missing that too. But
the virtual is fun, but it's virtual. So I mean, they really did some things that it was missing the beer, and the beer is just really amazing there. So it's kind of like, ugh. But the music was on point and all that. The virtual was good, but it's just Rod, you probably have you been to a virtual event that you've been to?
I haven't really done I mean, I went to watch one of the Untapped things a couple weeks ago, but I haven't really been to like a virtual event, I think. So
yeah, it's it's different if you've been to so I was at Fresh Fest and then I went to the virtual. It's just not the same. It's good, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
So, but nothing's the same in 2020. So what do you expect out of this fucking year, sir?
Yeah.
What do you expect out of this fucking year, Rod? That's my question. That's my question for you and Doug. If you expect anything out of this year, I think that's a problem. I think you should just expect
I'm just trying to get the PlayStation 5 this year if I can get it. That's about it.
So you expect the PlayStation 5. I don't even know if that's gonna shit.
That might not even happen. So I'm just like, the good thing is I've got beer and I've got enough beer. I don't have to worry about being out of that at least. So
Rod, you open up a can of worms. So now I got to go back at you because one of the things we do over at that on our Daddy Porter Brothers and Brews is we have a once a month or once a month ish we have a video game show, and we invite Rod over every time we can. Rod has made most of them. When he can, he does jumps in there. So that's why I know where Rod's loving his video games. But Rod, so are you still trying to get the PS5? Where are we at with that status? Like, are they still ordering them? Yeah, what's going on with it?
I mean, I'm still trying to get the PS5. I mean, Amazon, they've got me an alert to send it to me when they get more in, but I'm not a person that has to have it day one either. So it's kind of like if I get it January or February or whatever, that's fine. Right. Or even if it's a little bit later, let it work out some bugs in case any bugs pop up. I'm still good with it and everything. So I'm not that person that has to be all crazy about it. But yeah, I'm definitely more on the PS5 still.
But is there a game you just want the system, or is there a game with the system that you're looking for?
Probably just the system right now. I mean, there are games, I should say, like I said, when we watched the reveal show, if they came out with the PS5 Gran Turismo edition, that would be something cool to actually get. I'm looking forward to seeing that game there. But no, it's not anything really jumping out too much. I mean, if they do a Call of Duty's the thing I play the most, if they do a Call of Duty edition with the new alpha, which I got to play on PlayStation when they had the alpha release and everything. The beta release is going on right now, but I didn't end up pre-ordering, which is fine. But I'm kind of cool with it. It's just I just kind of more the system and everything right now.
And we know Doug's an Xbox guy,
and I am. And I'm in Rod's camp. I mean, when I was younger, I was like, all right, man, I got to get the system when it comes out. I got to get this game when it comes out. I went to a couple midnight releases for different games, usually the Halo stuff, but and I think a Call of Duty or two. But if I don't get it right away, it will be fine. It's just funny that. Getting a little older and you're just like, well, if I don't get it right that day, is that going to be the end of the world? Nope. I'll still have stuff I want to play and it'll be fine. And for me, the Xbox stuff, the thing that I was looking forward to was having the Halo game, and now they pushed the release date for that back. So if I don't get the Xbox the first day, the other game that I was looking forward to is Cyberpunk 2077. But I don't play that till later. That's okay. Pardon me.
Video games are different now. Like, see, to me, it's about the game, not the system. So, like, if there's a game out, like if there's a game that comes out with the PS5 that I want, then I'm gonna push it. But if there's not a game out, I'll wait. So like, kind of, you know what I mean? Or because because the reason I say it's different is because it sounds like you guys really don't. Well, you're not pushing to get it at first, but it doesn't sound like you guys are really connected to a game. You're more connected to a system.
I'm more connected to a game personally, but it's just the only reason it seems like a system is because Halo you can't play on any other platform.
Yeah, there's this.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for me,
you can play it on PC, but I'm not a PC gamer, so that's not really an option for me.
So, Doug, if I know COVID is F with all this. So if it's true, right? Because COVID is F with all of it, meaning like the game releases and all that. So if Halo was out, say they were releasing Halo with the Xbox in a bundle, would you want it more? When it first release. Okay. Yeah. That's where I'm at. So my game is Grand Theft Auto. So if PS5 said we have Grand Theft Auto with PS5 and it's a bundle, I would be where Rod is. I would be like, when can I get it? Where? How? I need it on. I need it on. What is it? What is the playlist? What is the pre-sale? Whatever. I don't care. Take my money. But since there's no GT5 going on or nothing, I'm crickets on it. But once they release that and they say that's the date, then that's when I'm going to be sniffing around for when's the PS5, how much does it cost, how much do I got to pay, what kind of controller do I get? Like, I'm hooked in. So it's a game for me.
Yeah, I haven't played PS. I haven't played Grand Theft in a while. I still got it here. I just haven't played it in a while. So.
Neither have I, actually.
Yeah. It's like
that's I
just don't get on it as much. But my fatigue with games can run out quickly if it's. I don't know. I've got to be involved a lot with it. So for me, the thing about Call of Duty, the shooter games, you're playing mini games all the time because we play a lot of multiplayer. So that keeps me more intrigued more than I've never really finished a campaign on any of them. And I got like all the Drake's Fortune and all that kind of stuff. And it's like I never really get through them. Mm-hmm. The sports games are good because you're playing matches and stuff like that, everything. But even those, I'll get a little burned out on. It's like I got to be playing against somebody or whatever to be able to really enjoy that. I play the season type modes, but I don't get through them all the time most of the time. So, but I like that. I guess that maybe that shorter satisfaction of getting stuff done. So that's why I like the games. That's why I buy games with multiplayer rather than multiplayer or just single player. Like you gotta have multiplayer on me. Like if Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't have multiplayer, I wouldn't have got it. Even though it's a cool Western game, I gotta have the multiplayer where I can play with other people that aren't, part of the game. I feel like some of the games become predictable at a point and it's just you burn out on them. It's kind of like I like the spontaneity of playing against somebody else. So
Rod, you and I agree, and Doug.
I like multiplayer. I will play multiplayer in Halo. I actually play Fortnite quite a bit because that's a very in and out quick game, like you were mentioning, Rod. But I want a game that has a good story in the campaign. I'll play a campaign of every game I buy because I want to hear what the story is. Because for me, there's, especially, again, I'm going to push towards Halo just because I'm so into it, is the idea that there's a whole world and this whole storyline and a story arc that goes through all of it. So to me, that's something that's really appealing is, all right, I'm going to this mission. Oh, they're introducing this. What is this? And then you get to see all the stuff and then you understand why that's part of it. When you're in the multiplayer, sometimes you have parts of it and you don't understand why the maps look the way they do. Why is it here? Why is it here? Whereas almost all their multiplayer maps are interwoven into their campaign.
Sure, yeah.
Same with Call of Duty. Call of Duty has a lot of their maps are part of the actual campaign. Not all of them, but a good majority of them. But again, for me, it's like Gears of War. I think their online part sucks. I really don't like their online version, but their single player campaigns are outstanding. Like just great stories, great gameplay. Like you're really involved. You feel like you're in the firefight. Like that's the thing is like if you can get somebody pulled in because you feel like you're part of it, then I think your campaign could work. If you have a shitty campaign and all right, well, you better have a good multiplayer then, because otherwise I'm not going to want to play you at all.
I got a couple of excuses. I can return this to Best Buy.
Also, I have to say that on multiplayer, I'm fucking terrible because my reflexes are awful at this point. So,
well, yeah. Well, some people play that thing like 24/7. So,
not me. I got too many other responsibilities.
I'm just here to relax. As I'm yelling at the TV, I'm trying to relax right now. I'm yelling and cursing and everything. But EBUs say it's a cheap, tall red ale at the 8% ABV just takes one, and at 2.19 can get two. Be good for 2 days till you get paid and get crap.
Dude, that sounds like me. That sounds like me when I was like 19. Like seriously, I was like, "Fuck, how can I get drunk and not pay $1 million?"
Yeah. Well, it's like sometimes I drink these beers and I feel like my tolerance has definitely grown over the years. So it's like, I'll sit here and I'll drink like an Avery Uncle Jacob Stout, which is like 16.5 or something percent, and throw down a couple more after that or something. It's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of boozy, but I mean, and it's like, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes, I had the one company, I don't know if you guys saw the video, but I had this company, Morning Care, behind me. They actually asked me to do a promo thing for their hangover drink to see how it would actually work and stuff. So I did the thing. I did 10 shots of Fireball that night. I did a liter of Polliner Oktoberfest. I did one of the Imperial Stouts, like 10.2. Then I had something else. I had drank that and woke up and, just a little bit sluggish. I mean, so I don't know. It may have worked, I guess, but it's kind of like the comments from people that saw it were kind of like, I'd be wiped out for the day. Like, I don't know. Maybe I got the tolerance level to a high level. I just feel like I definitely felt a buzz going on, but I didn't feel like I was like hammered. I knew I couldn't be driving, but outside of that, it was like, just kind of went through it. So.
That's way high, and I drink heavy stuff, and that's way more than I could drink. So,
but over time, and when you go to these beer festivals, you learn how to train your tolerance. Like Greg, it's like you hit these things, and you start to don't go here because that's gonna bring you down. Go here, then we can enjoy this for a bit. You start to, you work on it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Let's see here. Tuna said Rod going to start doing secret agent beers transfers at Dark Alley with lickouts and everything. You think I haven't?
That's a funny ass comment.
Nothing Zima hard soda is the next big thing. Yeah, they actually do have the hard sodas coming for sure. It seems 94 all over. Pat
right. So we're going to Zima. So is it just straight Zima, or do you do anything with the Zima?
No, I've never done anything. I just had the Zima. I'm like, and people are like, "Oh, you got the Valley Rancher in it." I'm like, "See, if you got to add something to make it taste different, then it's already shit."
Lime.
No, it's just
shot of Chambord.
It should be just ready to go. It should be ready to go.
Shot of Chambord. That's the way to go.
You ever hear that, Rod?
Not with Zima.
Yeah. I'm just
thinking it should be ready to go. If you got to bring other tools to make the one tool work, then
what about cocktails then? You can some things you're just like, this vodka sucks. I'm not just gonna fuck it. It's vodka. I got to drink it that way.
Vodka just fine. People do shots of vodka. Take it right out of the freezer and pour it in a glass. You don't have to put anything. I can do gin. I can do vodka. I can do tequila. I don't have to add something to it to actually drink it. It's an option to do that.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying some things is better if you add something to it, because if you don't, it's going to taste like ass. You can drink it. It's not fear factor. You don't have to chug it down. You can add stuff to it.
I'm with him, Rod, because like when I was younger, it was Zima with a shot of Chambord, and yes, you're right. If you have to add something to it, it's bad. Yes,
Zima is
You guys have parachute pants too.
I'm just telling you what people do. I ain't even trying to touch
no, I mean, I know you can. I mean, yeah, it was never my thing. The first time or the second time when it came around, it was like, yeah, it's just.
So Rob, one of the things I don't know if you want. I want to see if you. I don't think we've ever asked this question. You've been on our show, I think twice. You were on the Friday show, and I think we had or 3 times or twice.
Video game stuff.
Yeah, we haven't really I haven't really got into this with you. So, one of the reasons, so Daddy Porter, real quick. Daddy Porter started because I'm an aspiring cicerone. I'm, a beer expert. I'm working on becoming a beer expert and trying to, get all that knowledge. I approached Doug because I wanted to start a Friday show where literally I would set up a Friday show where I would drink beer because I was studying beer so much, Rod, that I wasn't actually drinking it. So I figured if I start a Friday show, I would actually drink beer. I would drink beer during that week, and it would help me go forward. So the reason I picked Doug, or Doug was the first person I asked to be on the show, and he was the first person to accept. So it was great. But the reason I asked Doug is because Doug, just so everybody knows, Doug has a blog called Scotchfully Yours. Doug likes Scotch. So I thought that was a great. I didn't want another beer person, right? I didn't want 2 people who knew about beer, like talking back and forth and all that. I actually wanted someone who didn't know about beer, so then we could just have like a casual conversation. He can come along with me, and I can learn Scotch. So that's how this all came together. I approached him after it was a while actually after that too, and I met him. I just approached him and I was like, Doug, I have this idea, and he's like, what? And I was like, well, I think we got on the phone or something, maybe or something. And I was just like, look, this is the deal. I just want to do this. He's like, great. Long story short, why am I talking about this? Because I don't know. I never asked you if you were a Scotch person. I know you like bourbon barrels. So where do you stand? I think we might have had this conversation before. Where do you stand with the hard alcohol and the like? What hard alcohols do you like? Are you a Scotch person, bourbon person? I mean, I know you like. I'm pretty sure I know you like rye beers. So I'm a rye person. You are. I don't want to say anything you don't know, but I believe you live in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's bourbon.
The bourbon state, really. Yeah.
Bourbon Street. So where you hard liquors, friend? You Scott, where you at?
Yeah. Well, that was a good amount of information because actually I had questions to ask you that stuff, but we didn't get to them. So I'm glad you kind of rattled down like how you guys got together and things like that along those lines. So that worked out well, my friend. I can drink pretty much anything. I used to bartend back in the 90s, so I'll drink liquors, I drink beer, I'll drink wine from time to time. There's not much I really don't like per se. I'm not a fan of Jägermeister, and I'm not a fan of Ouzo, things like that. It tastes like kind of that. It's weird, like that black licorice type taste. Although I can drink like a barley wine, which will give me a little bit of a black licorice feel, and I'm okay with it. So in some of the beer styles, that darkness doesn't bother me as much, or the dark fruit, or like that prune or raisin type feel. So, but when it's like something like like we did Ouzo when we were in Philly one time. One of my friends with Greek went down to one of the Greek bars. I've done absinthe down on Bourbon Street, which fits in that category. None of those 3, including Jägermeister, is like, why would you make something like this? It's just, but I know people that love it. It's the aftertaste with it or whatever. Like I said, as a kid, I never liked black licorice. Like, you get Halloween treats, it's like black licorice stuff. Yeah, you're out of here. So,
are you in red licorice?
That feel of it. I like red licorice. I can do red licorice. But yeah, but black licorice, not a fan of it. And when I have some of those 3 alcohols, that's what it reminds me of. I'm just not down with it. But like, we went down to Jamaica last year for vacation, and everything there was pretty much Red Stripe at the hotel we were at. Well, for the beer, it was so it's like I can't drink Red Stripe all week long or whatever. So I was just working the bar, I would drink all the liquors they had down there from the different things at the bar and stuff. And like I said, I can drink it all for the most part. None of it really bothers me. Like some people don't like vodka. They said, I'm like, vodka's no thing. Like I said, I can do a shot of vodka with no problem. Tequila, you know. Although I will say, if you do mix them, make sure you get tequila in first. I tell people, tequila is always bad when it's the last person coming to the party. Like that's not the knock at the door you want when you got gin and vodka and everything whiskey partying inside. Because tequila is the one that gets in there, like that guy that comes in and starts to fight with everybody. Like you don't want him getting in. If he gets there early before everybody else shows up, he gets a little fun. He gets out, everybody else comes in, and it goes well. But tequila at the end of the night, at least with me, the worst thing you can invite in. So, and I've had friends that have said pretty much the same thing. Like, that's when things go haywire when tequila is the last one in. So, but no, I mean, as far as liquor, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed all the styles as much as I can. I like Scotch. In fact, the first alcohol I ever drank was actually Dewar's when we snuck into my mom's liquor cabinet one day. Me and my buddies, we were like in 9th grade or whatever, and hey, we're like, let's go see what this is. And we started pouring Dewar's in there. You know, you do the thing where you fill it up with water. So your parents don't try to catch you. You try to get back where it was. And long story short, you never fool mom. So she did catch me at a point. So, but I tried that for a bit. But it was like, you taste it like, why would anybody ever drink this? And then it's like, you drink it enough, you start to develop a taste for it. So, even years later, as I'm bartending, I will enjoy some different scotches and stuff. Whiskeys, I really like a lot of smoothies. My whiskey game, though, even though I'm in Kentucky, I just need to get it to the next level. Like I always tell people, especially my friends that are whiskey guys, it's like I've got distilleries all around me, but I drink beer most of the time. And, you know, I'll occasionally get a Woodford Reserve or Makers or whatever it may be, but the whiskeys they drink, they're like up here. It's like I'm down here like freaking Jeff Green. They're up here like LeBron or some shit. Like I'm not to that level to really enjoy what you guys are actually drinking yet. You know, trying to maybe go here, be like Dwight Howard, or maybe then get to Anthony Davis, and I can get up there with you guys with LeBron or something. But right now it's just I don't do enough. I try to experiment as I go through. One that I will say I do like for style is like Irish whiskey. I like the Jameson series and stuff they usually do. So I always enjoy some Jamesons here and there.
Yeah, because they have the cask make stuff where they do like the IPA and the stout.
Yeah.
And I believe, I want to say it's a red ale was the other one. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
There's a
I know they had the I've had the stout and the IPA version. They just came out with the coffee roasters I haven't tried yet. I want to check that one out. But their base version I've always liked as well. I like it. You know, we had bars here that would do like Jameson shot nights and stuff. $2 Jameson shot. I've always liked Jameson. I thought it was a decent whiskey for the price for what you're paying and stuff. So, but yeah. But remember, I went to school at WVU, so we did a lot of stuff. We drank Everclear. So when I first moved to Ohio from West Virginia, I didn't even know you couldn't buy Everclear in some states.
Oh, you can't.
I tried to buy Everclear, and Ohio said we can't serve Everclear; it's too strong. And I'm like looking at the guy like, "What the fuck is too strong? It's alcohol. It's supposed to be strong." And Kentucky sold Everclear, so we came over to Kentucky and ended up getting it. But it's like I was surprised. Like I never heard that before. Like an alcohol is too strong. I mean, you know, it's not moonshine. I mean.
Well, it's not far removed from rubbing alcohol. So,
not far removed, but yeah. So
it is strong and tastes like what was the quote in the Matrix? It's good for degreasing engines and getting drunk, like when they made that hooch in the Matrix ship.
Well, you can always use Coke to degrease an engine by itself. It won't get you drunk, but it'll clean out an engine for you.
Right.
Rod, what are you pouring there, man? Are you pouring
I'm pouring this other one now. So this was the second one I had here. So this was another one I picked up when I was down in Gatlinburg, and it is an Imperial peanut butter milk. So this is from Tailgate Brewery. This one comes in at 10% ABV. Like I said, I've been on this peanut butter kick lately. And the one I had last night was another one from them. So they had a couple peanut butter beers there from that brewery, and it's pretty decent. What did you end up getting there, Doug?
Yeah, I stepped away so I could get another beer. This one is one that I've had in my fridge for a week or two.
Oh, I see it around.
Flemish Red Ale.
Yeah, I've seen it,
I
but
have no idea how to pronounce that. The shit, Bourgeon.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So
I
don't
took
know
French
much
like 3 years.
So it's a 6% Belgian ale. So we're gonna.
It's always that. It's like kind of low for a Belgian ale.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, well, that's good then because I've already had 2 beers. So
I'm on my last pour of this, but this is
So other team fans are welcome. Yes, even Bears and Vikings, mostly. Yours are Packers fans. It's all good as long as you enjoy watching your team get beat in Lambeau. So
round 1 when I went to Lambeau. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And Gilbert said he's getting the PS5 once the GTA drops.
See?
And my buddy EB said PC Master Race on the PS5 for Final Fantasy.
Godfall.
11? No, what is that? What number is that? That's a 9. No. 19? I'm trying to think Roman numeral.
That's 16.
Yep. And Godfall.
Yep.
I've never heard of Godfall.
That was one I think came out during the reveal when they had it there. But
okay. Yeah, I'd never heard of that.
My buddy Blake's in the house at Cheers fan. Smash that like. Blake, good guy. BTV, always a fun channel. We have fun over at his stuff too. And poor Blake, he's in Arkansas. He's an Arkansas fan, and they got screwed this last weekend in the football game. I mean, Auburn, the refs made a bad call. And Auburn ended up snatching away from them. And EB wants both system, Xbox Game Pass. It's hard to beat. Make an Ultimate Game Pass where I can add games on my PC, and I'm happy. So that's the thing you have the Microsoft, right? The Ultimate Pass.
Let's hear it.
That allows you to basically get the library and add the games and play the games for free under your PC and your Xbox with the Ultimate Pass.
Yeah, they have one. They have one thing going now. Is it now or next month? Where basically all the EA games you can download for free and play.
I just realized with
their
this
library. So,
this tastes like a liquid Butterfinger. If you like Butterfinger,
that shit is lacking. Wow.
Mine's like almost coppery.
It's like a liquid Butterfinger.
Mine's almost coppery.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not black. It's not black.
No.
It's
funny on the nose. It smells a bit like a sour, like not like sour, but like it smells like that characteristic of Flemish red. But it doesn't drink like that. It drinks a little more sweet than it does sour, which is interesting.
Buddy Blake says, Daddy Porter, 2 questions. Michael, Franklin, or Trevor, and would you ever wear a Cowboy shirt?
He's talking about college QBs.
Yeah.
College QBs? Number?
Trevor Lawrence. That's the one you want. Trust me.
Oh, Trevor, yes. And no, I wouldn't wear. And I got a new nickname for him too. I call him Alice because they don't have any D in Dallas. They're the
Alice.
Horrible. So they're the Alice Cowboys this year. So. Is it too soon to say no Dak either? Sorry.
What does he take your thing? Is it Alice or is it all ass?
Either way.
It can't be the all ass because the Washington professional football team still has Dan Snyder as their owner, so they can't be all the ass in the league. So.
Right, but they could be some of the ass of the league with Jerry Jones. So it's a balance thing here. But no, shout out to Dak, man. I hope he gets better. He's a good dude, and that wasn't cool. Go on.
Yeah.
There are many other people I not wish to see that happen, but I wished would happen.
Is he off for the season now? Because I just saw the picture of the ankle and it was going away. Like, I saw was like Napoleon McCallum used to be a running back for the Raiders years ago on Monday night, and I saw his thing flip. It looked like with his thing.
Joe Theismann was the first one, right?
Yeah.
I never really watched the Joe Theismann one. I was watching that game because I was a big LT fan, and it was kind of like I heard something. They're like, "Oh, let's take it." Like, I never went back because, like, you know how Monday Night Football is. It's like, oh, let's look at it from this angle. Let's look at it from this angle. And I was like, terrible. For him to stop showing it. I was like, I'm not going to look at it because I've seen it both.
Now, they're better at this now because they know that you can get online and see that clip. So they're like, we're not showing it again. Like, we're done.
Yeah.
Like, and that's because you can go elsewhere to see it. But back in the day, though, that was traumatic, though, Rod. Bill Theismann was traumatic. What were you going to say, Doug? You going to say something?
Do you guys remember that ESPN did a commercial with Joe Theismann where he was sitting there and the guys were playing poker with him and they kept snapping pretzels? And he goes, and I think he goes, come on, guys. Like, I swear to you, there's an ESPN commercial where they did that, where they were mocking him.
I would take you out.
I'm pretty sure it's an ESPN commercial because it was for when they were doing Monday Night Football and he was part of their crew.
But there's certain things we could joke about. If you were my friends, I would take you out. I would like jump and like I would do something.
Well, in the commercial, you clearly signed up that it was okay to do.
No, I know. If you were my friends and I snapped my shit and then you made fun of me like that, it would be on. I will be getting you for the rest of your life. All right. I will have a vendetta. I'll be like, the next time I show up at Doug's house, I'm gonna show up with something good.
Can I go two small, well, not smaller, but lesser known folks that had Willis McGahee? I don't even remember seeing him. He was in the air and the guy hit his knee and it just looked like it imploded like this way. That was completely gross. And then I'm going to give you one that was an old one, but it was, remember the Bills had this receiver named Don Beebe?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he would get knocked out at least 3 times a season. And he got knocked out the one time and he sat and his arm was just like this straight up and he was out cold. And I was like, that is the creepiest thing I think I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that is so gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Dak, the lady and I were sitting here in the deck. She's like, "That's broke. That's crazy." And I looked and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not. I don't know. Some people can see that over and over. Rod, are you one of those people that can see it over and over?
I didn't want to see the Theismann hit. I ended up seeing the Theismann hit by accident one day because I was watching something on a video and it kind of snuck it in on me, and it was like, oh, wow. But I can watch horror movies and gore type stuff because I know it's a movie. Like that stuff doesn't bother me. You watch Walking Dead and someone's elbow will pop out, so like that. I'm fine with that. But when it's like real life, like I don't. It's weird. It's like. Back in the day when I was in high school, we used to do those aptitude tests. My highest aptitude said, not joking, I was ranked to be a surgeon. And I'm like, but I can't stand blood. I can't stand blood. I can't stand bones. Like,
you have an aptitude for something that completely grosses you out. Awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, Rod, here's great to have a skill that you'll never use.
I'll never use it. This test sucks.
One last person on the grotesque injury thing was Gordon Haywood. Yeah. And the thing about that one was it wasn't really necessarily you seeing it snap; it was hearing it. Like you heard like the crack, and it was just like, like hear it. Like you didn't hear that injury; you just saw it. But the Gordon Hayward one was because we can hear the basketball game. We hear the squeaky sneakers and everything. So they have like the sound really good where you can hear it. And that snap rod was just like your whole I don't know. It's just like your heart.
You can't see it now, but I'm like stretching my leg out under my desk because it makes me feel back.
But
stretch that out.
Gordon Hayward came back and he's running around. Trying to win the championship this year. He looked pretty good. So, I mean, I guess it's never the same. But at the same time, at least modern medicine can, make people, bring him back at least enough that he could play. So at least he could have real quick, Alex Smith just played last week. Remember?
Yeah,
and that's a great, that was a great, when he came back, it was weird. He came back the same week Dak went out. Very interesting. But I
have one that I would not recommend you watch this if you're faint of heart. There's a
I love
guy.
live shows. You never know where they're going to go, right? Right, Rod? You never know where they're going to go.
So this is a hockey one. All right. So there's a guy named Clint.
Oh, wait a minute. This is the one with the blade cuts the guy.
Yeah, and the guy, and it's a guy. If the guy said if he would have been on the other side of the arena, he wouldn't have made it. Like he was on the right side, closest to the ambulance, and that's what saved him. Wow. And I remember I was actually watching that game on USA Network because that's the network that had hockey at the time. And I was like, whoa! And then all of a sudden you see all this blood, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And and I'll tell you, a lot of the cameras are like panning away because they didn't want to show him like And that's why they always have the neck guards on. That's why they all have the neck guards on their masks now, so that they don't get hit in the freaking neck.
Yep. They didn't want to show him bleeding out, right?
Yeah, because they were afraid that dude, when he went down and all the blood started spilling out, they're like, holy shit, and like pan all the things away.
Man.
Sorry to bring that one up, guys.
Somehow we became almost faces of death here.
I know.
Oh, he
got dark.
I dropped that. I went there. He went to the face.
Kids of today will never know that from the 80s.
Oh, that was a mind fuck too. You saw those, right, Doug?
Yeah, I saw those. I actually subscribed to Fangoria magazine when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was one of those dorks because I thought the special effects are cool and I wanted to know how they did those. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was yeah, well, Gen X was tough. We can handle that. So Tina said, joking aside, I hate seeing that injury. I hate seeing anyone in the season ender. Yeah, I agree. Sure.
We all agree, I think. Yep.
Malt Muser whiskey in the house. What is going on, my friend? You talk about the whiskey. You want to learn about more whiskey. Malt Muser, you want to check him out. He does some great whiskey shows and lives on his channel that can really get you up to speed on whiskey too.
Hey, we love to have you on, Malt, the review guy. That'd be great.
Yeah. Reach out to him. I'm sure he loves doing the
different. Hey, man, you want to come on? Reach out to us. It's cool.
Yeah. I'll do Scotch again that night.
Yeah, we would love to have you. Right.
Zima 4-era princess.
I'm not going to tell you what my friends called that because I don't want to mention those words on here because it was not great.
Nobody should ever have Zima. He's a Braves fan. Says go Braves. I didn't realize they knocked the Yankees out too. So
not a baseball fan, but
yeah.
If the Yankees lose, I'm happy.
Maybe that's what I need. Bottle
more fuel.
That'll get
Blake is the biggest vodka drinker we know, so he's like, just roll with vodka.
Nothing's wrong with vodka. If you get vodka, if you get the really cheap shit, it's really hard to actually. That's the thing. If you get cheap shit, you got to mix it with something. It's just otherwise.
Bloody Mary.
Does taste like rubbing alcohol.
Just a weak stuff in a Bloody Mary.
Right, so just to drink beer. They called it a bar and invite bands and stuff. Yeah.
Not anymore, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like to leave my house, especially during COVID. Scotch.
Gilbert drinks a lot of good whiskey and stuff. So Gilbert could do a great channel talking about whiskey if you ever wanted to do it.
Gilbert, you want to come on? That's great.
Champion. Yeah. Double Fist. He's usually drinking a beer and whiskey at the time when he's watching and stuff. So drive down and let Rod try some real liquor sometime. Yeah, probably so. I mean, we got real liquor. I just haven't been. I mean, I'm 5 minutes from like Boone County Distillery that a lot of the beers we use for actually brewing. I'm not that far from like Louisville. We have the Bourbon Trail down here. We're going on a road trip, Greg. Bourbon Trail all through Kentucky and different distilleries. You can make one hell of a.
Our friend Jason Green, who was on the show with us, actually did that whiskey trail.
Yeah.
Yes.
Castrating whiskey, none of the peanut butter flavor stuff.
Yeah.
And Blake Jameson tried a Method of Madness here. Okay, Gilbert, I'll definitely keep an eye out for that one then. Oh, yeah, Red Ale, get ready for that.
Oh, fun.
Gilbert has a good taste for the beers and stuff too.
Yummy.
The beer,
beer. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great ales, lambics.
Lambics is actually one of those styles you can actually, you don't think about it because sometimes they're lower in the ABV, but you can age those for a long time too. With those sour. Ankle this past weekend was a good one. They almost covered it. Yeah. Jonathan, what is going on? Kudos.
Kudos. Hey,
yeah.
Kudos out, Smith. Absolutely.
You should watch the goalie and it's
yeah. I don't want to see more of that stuff.
no. It's like we're not trying to make a Faces of Death episode. We just kind of fell into it type thing. But that reminds me, because what I wanted to do here, we got so much good. That's what I'm saying. I always started it with an agenda, but it's like, where do we end up going? That's just always the unknown.
We ended up with heinous injuries.
I had some other stuff queued up here, so I wanted to share this with the people as well. Let me get over here. So here we actually have the blog, right? So your Daddy Porter, you started
my blog.
Huh?
Hey, it's my blog.
That's your blog, yeah.
When was the last time I saw that?
How long ago did you start the blog? Was it a while ago? Like you haven't usually.
A while ago. I haven't updated that bad boy, and woo!
It's been a minute.
Well, you had a good layout. You had podcasts, you had Cicerone, all this stuff. So you're not really doing it as much. You get 110% for my kid.
It's a good place to start with me for sure. No, I won't be sitting for the certified Cicerone test.
That's 2017. So yeah, that was a while ago.
Yep. But since then, I realized, and people who follow me know that you can just pretty much jump in on a Friday show. You pretty much hear everything that's going on with me, going on with Doug, going on with the brand. So I usually use that that's where everybody kind of funnels in.
Let me flip over here. So here's the channel.
That in the group. Yep. So that's a Facebook channel where you'll find the show. When Doug and I do our different shows, so we do the video game show that Rod is absolutely a part of. Here Halloween coming up. On a Saturday, we're going to do our first politics show, and I asked Rod to be on it. And if you follow Doug and I's show, we don't really talk much politics. We kind of skate around it. There's times where we jump in, but we're not Donald Trump fans at all. But our politics show is going to be, we're going to do some Donald Trump bashing. I will completely
try to build an audience or.
Hey man, when we talk politics, man, our numbers go up, not down. We were even shocked by that as far as viewership. We were shocked by it because we went in saying we don't want to talk politics, but at this point, we don't care. But anyway, back to the politics show real quick. We're going to talk about different things on the politics show. We're going to talk about defunding the police. We're going to talk about packing the courts. We're going to talk about old presidents, old presidential races. We'll talk about hanging chads. We'll talk about all kinds of different things. We want to talk about have a nice, well-rounded discussion about politics. So it'll be 4 days before the election, so that'll be interesting. So you're looking at my YouTube page, so that's a really good place to start. You can get all the Brothers and Booze. Brothers and Booze is our Friday show, so you can get all that there. Doug and I have been doing it for over a year and a half now. So Doug has not missed a show yet. So you will see Doug in every one of those shows. Sometimes I'm on the road as Rod explained before. So sometimes Doug is just holding down the fort for us. So but I also do a show called Meet My Friends, where I meet all these people that I meet at my different conferences. They come in for like a half an hour, an hour interview. There's Rod right there. Boom. So look. Yeah, you did one. Look, 46 minutes. Or is that an hour?
Beer run there.
That's an hour and 46.
Yeah,
we gotta beat that tonight.
Yeah. So we put Rod on, and no, that was Brothers and Booze. Rod didn't do me much. Yeah. So
the thing is, like, the reason I'm going through your channel because, like, if I look up here, if somebody were to jump on, I think it was. People don't realize the talent you get on your channel, right? Because I think you were at 65. No, that's not. What is that? That's not sub. How many subs do you have on this?
Close to 100. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not even.
I saw it here, but I might have been looking in the wrong spot. But for having I'd say like a smaller channel, just from the people that got on there thus far. From what you've done thus far, I should say, you've got big hitters on the channel, right? So I go through here, and for people that don't really know the beer industry as much, you look on here, like you had Jerry Richard on there, you had Al Sharpton, which is huge. You had April and Tony, which are huge. You had Carl on here. Where's she? A little bit. There's Carla. She's huge. You're getting the talent on here that are like names that people know from the beer industry. That's why it's like people should be checking you out, because the people that are coming through are people that know a lot of what they're talking about. They're connected into a lot of different things. And if you went to Beer Knowledge, I mean, you're getting people in there where people can actually check out the show and really come across some really good people there. So
absolutely. And I don't know, we started off as a beer show, but as we kind of grow, Doug and I are trying to be more of a variety show. So we're trying to bring in, different people. While we still talk about beer, we're trying to bring in some different people to, have a different conversation. But we're still going to be always a beer-based. And
I know that logo. Yeah.
Hey, JC, he designed that logo. He knows that logo. Absolutely. We do have a new logo in the works. And we do have new branding coming. I don't know when that's going to be, but that's been in the works for a while. COVID kind of took that and ran with it the wrong way, but like COVID does, right?
Yeah.
COVID take the ball and run the right way. So, right. I didn't even think about it that way, but oh man, I don't know. The NBA season was if you want to segue a little bit, that was a silver lining. I think that was really, really good. I think they executed it well. They did it without 2 or 3 positives. They put themselves in
the very beginning.
Both of them did well.
Yeah, and they bubbled themselves. Yeah, they did it well. What I liked about too was that, and I told Doug too, especially when it first started, I liked that there was games on in the afternoon. As someone who was, home all a lot, it was really cool to be like, damn, there's an NBA game on at 12 o'clock. Oh, there's one at 2. So it almost gave it that March Madness feel where you're like involved in it all day. And you almost have to be like, even if you're not like looking at it, you could be like, see, March Madness for me, Doug, don't even talk about Doug March Madness, but for me, because Doug is crazy. But for me, March Madness is like it's an all-day event kind of thing, but I'm not sucked in it all day. Like I can look at it. It's on my TV. I'm doing work and I can look over. That's how the NBA was. And I thought it was fun for that little time and the way they did it. I know LeBron didn't like it, but he liked the end, so that's fine.
Yeah.
LeBron was the biggest people that was like, I don't, he struggled with it, obviously, because he's LeBron and respectfully, he has the world at his hands, basically. So being forced in a little bubble in a hotel room with bad food is not good for him.
I'm sure they had chefs that were specifically. I'm sure they paid. That's the thing, Greg, is they don't do shit now where like NBA players and their teams are like they have catered stuff for their things so that they get the right nutrients. And all that.
But it didn't start that way.
Okay, that's fair.
Right. It started off real rocky, and I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, but they were showing some of like the meals that they were giving, like these big NBA.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad. I mean,
yeah, it started off really, really horrible. But
you're
right. Like they eventually got it, and it was all good. No, I'm not even trying to.
That's why Lou had to stop off and get wings at the strip club because the food was bad back at the place. So
right, and then they had
I'm going to a funeral, and then you ended up with the strip club eating chicken wings. What the hell happened? Like,
maybe the funeral was at the strip club. We don't know.
Yeah. Another guy's like, you didn't bring any wings back?
Right.
You see what we're eating here? Where's our wings? But yeah, I think the football is going to be the big challenge. They've moved 8 games already this year in the NFL, which is kind of weird that NFLs have more problems than colleges. But then I'm thinking maybe college is more locked down because they're students and you have a little bit more control over them. But football is more of a contact sport, obviously. So you're going to have people breathing each other, all kind of stuff. So that's where you're going to see how much it's really going to affect things. And, but tonight there was a game on because they had to move it from Sunday. So you had a Monday night game and a Tuesday night game. Question will be how that affects things going down the line. I guess one game got canceled last week when my buddies was telling me at work, and he's like, I don't know how they fix that for fantasy. I'm like, well, I guess you get screwed with your points because if you choose a player and they don't play, I don't know what they're going to do. It's like they're on a bye or something, but which is probably driving like FanDuel people crazy that people get hooked into that. So,
and it's fantasy footballers and all that, right?
Dustin Johnson came down with it, who's like the number one golf player now. And then the number one, I don't know if he's one a top soccer player. He ended up getting it.
Ronaldo.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, so he's going to get so it's going to happen. It's just and how you live with it going forward and stuff would be the big thing. So we'll see how it affects people. And the thing with it being an athlete is you see some people that used to work out that they say they can't work out like they used to because of how they've been affected. But I think some of the older people, but we'll see what happens. Johnson's NFL shut it down. There you go.
Yeah.
I haven't watched an NFL game in 5 years, I think now. 4 or 5 years.
JC and I have been going back and forth about this. And while I agree with him, it's just not going to happen. So he can scream it to the high heavens all he wants.
I haven't having too much money into it until something happens. But
right.
But here's the thing: if something does happen, and they had like say a major player die from it, that's the risk they run because then it's just like, Yep.
Yeah. And that's part of where he's coming from. I mean, he understands that they're not going to shut it down, but he's not going to stop screaming at this to shut it down. It's like not to go politics, but it's like me and packing.
Shut it down. Shut it
right.
down.
It's like me and packing the courts. I scream, pack the courts. People scream no. It's not going to make me stop screaming it. So it's kind of like right.
I'm gonna
right. See, right.
Yeah, but that's a whole different thing. I wasn't going to, get into the politics or anything here, but you guys are on my Facebook. Check out my Facebook post earlier with a little bit of history of how courts have been changed with the Supreme Court going back over the years. So it wasn't always at 9. It wasn't always at 9 either. So
Rod, come on a Halloween show and we'll talk about it. Yeah, bring it, Rod.
Come and enjoy the nonsense we're gonna just rail on.
Your personal page is the reason why I'm asking you to be on the politics.
Really?
Yeah, because I read your personal page and I kind of, you're ready to jump in and go back and forth.
People read in the shadows. They're like, I'm not a respond. But I've got friends across the spectrum that are to the right and to the left. It's like, it's out there. This is that, and we have debates and all that kind of stuff on things. But it's just. This is what it is out there. I try to ride as much as I can closest to the middle as possible. But there's just some things where common sense has to kick in on people. It's kind of like these people that are going like they got a rally down in Florida. Was it Florida tonight or Pennsylvania, wherever Trump went to? And people go out there. And if people get corona, I'm not going to feel bad for them because you put yourself in that position. That's just the way I am. People say from it, but if you're going to put yourself out there, that's a risk you assume to take. It's like if you're a cliff diver and you missed the water, you took that risk. That was your choice,
right, Rod? And I agree with you, and I think you agree with me on the aspect of this. I don't care about you who went to the MAGA rally, but I do care about the people that you might infect. So,
that's what I care about.
Right, you know what I mean? Right. So,
yep.
Right, and I always say too, like. Again, you want to go to the MAGA rally, that's great. But you should also sign off on the fact that you're going to be last at the in the emergency room. That's just me. I could be wrong.
I've always said if you were there, they find out you were there, you should go to the back of the line.
Right. I'm not saying you shouldn't get coverage. I'm saying that you should be behind people who are wearing masks and who are working out and who just got infected just because they got infected, not because they were being reckless about it, in my opinion. Doug? Yeah. Or Doug, you were going to say something, so I'll shut up.
No, I'm in the camp with both you guys, so it's fine. I don't think I need to say more.
Well, cheers. Look at this. Doug, I gotta look. So we are an hour and a half. We are an hour and 40 minutes in the Rod show, which is like a normal show for us. And I still haven't finished my bomber, Doug. So I'm gonna start doing bombers on Fridays. Could be bomber Friday.
Good bomber you can sit and enjoy depending on what you don't. Let's say with a beer you want it to be like a social type event, right? We were in high school. It was like, how many can I pound out? Get my buzz like that. But when you get older, it's like you wouldn't enjoy. It's why it's like you get a good beer. It's kind of like, if I'm going to have a beer or two, and there's nothing wrong with any of the macros. If people enjoy them, that's fine. But it's kind of like, I want my beer or two to be on something. Like, I don't want a Big Mac if I can get a Ruth's Chris hamburger. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make it worth it if I can get that instead. Now, if I'm broke and I'm down, yeah, I'll get a Big Mac. Nothing wrong with that. So, but it's where you put in your energy and where you want to have and enjoy. So, and to be a beer drinker at this time, I tell people, it's like, I don't know. I can't say back in the ages, years and years and years ago, but I got to tell you what, I can't think of a time where it's better to be a beer drinker than it is now, just because of the new stuff being done and all the old stuff being brought back.
Yep. That
you really get to taste everything for the most part.
Even during the pandemic.
Yeah, even during the pandemic. Which for some, that has gotten some people in trouble. Like, okay, we know you're at home, but you're drinking a little too much. Like, people drinking on Zoom calls and stuff like that are coming in hammers. Oh, did you see the one video? It was a video that came out. It's funny, not to do with drinking, but there was actually a Zoom call, and the one chick thought she actually shut her phone off to go to the restroom and still had it on. And she sat down in the toilet, and they're like, I know what it is. The finally said, Lisa, like, and she didn't realize this goes black. And it's like, I don't know if she ever came back or what, but it was just like, y'all let her walk all that way. Y'all saw where she was at. Y'all waited for her to actually do it before y'all said something. I mean, she wasn't exposed or anything, but it was just like, gotta know where you're at, people. Gotta know where you're at.
Right. So, you go there.
Buddy John H. Pierre in the house. What's going on? He's actually down in Alabama. Hey, you guys, drinking 2 Lane while listening. Very nice. Hey, if you don't know John H. Pierre, he actually does some beer channels down there too. So if you want some Southern flavor, John H. Pierre is also good to check. Well,
cheers, man.
Too. Cheers.
That, Jonathan. Sometimes I get on the soapbox. I mean, it just happens.
Right.
These guys see my Facebook page sometimes, and it's just like.
All right, Rod. So let me get this in before we close out. I don't know where we're going to, but I just want to make sure I get it. So you mentioned Pumpkin before, and then I saw that Doug had a response, or I saw Doug had a physical response to that. So we'll get to Doug a little bit before to Pumpkin. But are you a Pumpkin fan, Rod? I think we've been here before, but I want to make sure. And then Doug, you have experience with Pumpkin too. So I kind of want to. Where you at with the pumpkin beers, Rod?
I mean, I like pumpkin beer. I don't like it like July when they come out with them. I'm like, it's pumpkin. It should be like October. It should be a little bit of a nip in the air. Mm-hmm. When I think of a pumpkin beer, I want to kick out from out back. Like you think about something like a fire pit, or you're kind of catching a nice breeze. You've got people burning wood out there where you got that smell in the air, maybe like a hayride or something like that and everything. So at this time of year, I'll get into it. I won't stay in it because I'll fall out of it quickly. There's too many, artificial tasting pumpkin beers out there. But there's some good ones I like. I mentioned Pumpkin. Pumpkin used to be my favorite until I got Warlock. Once I got Warlock, Pumpkin took a backseat to that. Dogfish Head, they have a nice pumpkin beer. Avery Brewing has a couple big pumpkin beers, like 17%. Yeah,
which is a great one.
Yeah.
Rum King? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, there's Rum King, and that's like the KY in the middle, and there's another one they have too. And there's a couple other places, but pumpkin beers are just, they're novelty to me. But at the right time of year, I'll drink them, and it's usually October, pretty much October, early November, and then I start kicking it over into the winter ales because I'm like, bring the winter ales on. I like the Great Lakes Christmas. I like the spice ones, the winter spice type stuff. I want to bring out some of their stuff. It's like, just start dropping the big boys out here because some people are like, I gotta wait till winter before I have a stout. I'm like, come on, you can have a stout anytime.
No, that don't work with Doug and I. That's not gonna work.
I'll have stouts in a shower in the middle of summer. That doesn't bother me.
Well, after fucking mowing his lawn.
That's the other thing too. So let me ask you this real quick before Doug's on there. Speaking of after mowing the lawn, shower beer. Doug's a big shower beer person, but Greg, you're not. Like, I've never done the shower beer, but I know there's like people out there that love the shower beer. There's some that are like, I don't understand the shower beer.
All right, can I defend Greg for a moment, please? The thing was, Greg was trying it, and what he was doing is what you do when you pour beer. You're supposed to pour it in a glass, so you get the sense of what it is. You get, so he poured it in a glass, and then he took it in the shower with him. And people were like, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you taking a glass in the shower?"
Did you see that, Rod?
I was one of the people that I was not concerned. I was more just poking fun.
Sure.
But the problem is everybody else kind of piled on.
Rod, did you see that though?
I didn't see it, but I know with a shower beer, you take it straight from the can.
Let me give you a little background. Just a touch. Like Doug is a shower beer guy, and like Doug has been I've been asking Doug what it's about and all this. So the one time I actually tried it, I put it in my group, and I was like, "Oh look, I was drinking. I was drinking with the lady. And I was like, oh, I need a shower. So I just took the beer that I was drinking just into the shower, with a glass. And I just posted it in my group, and I got lit up in my group. My group lit me up. So I was like, all right, bitches, it's cool. Since there's all these rules, I'm not doing your shower beers. Like, I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, worry about it. Be careful. It's cool. And I'm like, all right. So Doug came to my defense. This is why he's coming to my defense, because I just took my beer just into the shower. I didn't let me pour beer and go in the shower. I was like, oh, I have this beer. I'm just gonna take it in the shower. What's the big deal? And I can't take it in a glass, and it's got to be all this different things. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not doing a shower anymore. Fuck it. So I don't know, Ron. Like, it's not really that big of a deal, but like, it was just funny. It was more of a funny thing. Like, so now I haven't done a shower beer. I will do another one, but I may not put it in my group because you motherfuckers.
Well, what's interesting is I will take shower beers in a bottle, but I also have one of those goofy caddies that you hang off your shower head.
Yeah,
beer in there, and then I know it doesn't go anywhere.
Right. I have mine on like a ledge, so
and that works too.
I was saying, when you go into the shower, you have the things now. You put it right on the wall. It sucks that people put their shower. Your things there.
I think doesn't Tiffany Martin have one of those? She was like, "Hey, look at this," and she's like, "Showed that she had one in her shower." I'm like,
Tiffany Martin is full of those. She could pull that shit off.
Yeah.
So, Rod, are you in and out of the shower beers? Where are you at?
I've never done a shower beer. I've never done it. So shower beers, when they have shelves in there, and people have it ready to go in there. I'm like, it's like a freaking bar in the shower. Like, how long are you going to be in there? I'm like, why do you need all this stuff in there?
Right. So Rod, I just said, I don't know if you heard. Maybe it's a black thing. Maybe just
man. I mean, no. You know why I said? Because I've seen black guys that have done it. I've seen black girls that have done it. Like, they post pictures on Instagram. Maybe it's a suburb thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
No, it's just more of I understand it. I get it though. I don't know. Maybe I'll try shots in the shower. I don't know. I just like to fuck with people. Actually, that's kind of.
I mean, you're talking to a guy that just didn't know about the Jolly Rancher and Zimas. I didn't know about that when people drank them. So
or Zima with Chambord. You didn't know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
We got to bring you around, Rod. We got to take you out more. You got to get out more, buddy.
I mean, have you guys ever had a fried bologna sandwich?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, did you grow up having a fried bologna? Did you know about it before?
I had them when I was a youth, and I was not a fan. My mom made them for me once, and I said, I'll just have peanut butter and jelly. And I just went and made myself a sandwich.
The first time I had one was last year in my life. I've never had a fried bologna. And so it's funny because my friends that went for a beer fest, we were at a beer fest that we did in Cincinnati. And you know what? We were all drinking. We were sitting around where people were eating. I said, I'm going to run a poll around here and find out, because they were joking. I never had a fried bologna sandwich. And I was going table to table. Hey, have you ever had a fried bologna sandwich? And people were like, well, yeah, I've had a fried bologna sandwich. And some people were like, well, no, I've never had it. And I was like, I've never had a fried. They're like, oh, you must have been rich. I'm like, I don't know what richness has to do with a fried bologna sandwich. That was the most common response I got. You must have been rich. Like, apparently only the poor kids had to fry, because I can tell you, I was poor. So I don't know why I didn't get the fried bologna sandwich. Did I miss something back in the day or whatever?
I was poor. And I was there.
But I never.
Hey, you know what my sandwich was? I shit you not. American cheese and ketchup.
American cheese and ketchup, not mayonnaise. Like, because I've had friends that have had mayonnaise with the cheese.
No, it was just something like I could pretend it was like a grilled cheese and tomato soup. It's so dumb. It was the only way. And
you know what? Your logic is not flawed there when you think about it, thinking of it as a grilled cheese and tomato soup.
But I didn't grill it. I just threw American cheese on a sandwich and threw ketchup.
You toasted bread at least. Toasted bread. You get toasted
bread or no?
Oh yeah, bread. I didn't just do cheese with ketchup.
No.
You toasted.
No. I just understand. When I was a kid, I was so hyperactive and I needed to be outside all the time that I would run in, get the quickest shit I could, and get the hell back outside. So that was part of the reason.
Did your friends were like, "What do you got there?" And you're like, "Oh, I got a tomato and cheese sandwich or ketchup."
No,
and cheese
I was like, "Oh, I got a sandwich." I just I told them what was in it. I was like, "I'm just gonna have a sandwich."
Doug, would you try to sneak into it without your parents knowing you were in?
Would I what?
Like, would you see? I would always try to sneak in the house and not know my mother was like. Tell my parents I was there or my mother, so then I would get in, like grab food and like get out before she knew I was there. Because if she knew I was there, she'd be like, "Hey, Greg, you got to do this," or like. So I would try to sneak in and out.
No, my parents always knew, and I was at a point where I knew they knew I would get in, so I just would be like, "Hey," and then they were like, "Here's your 18 chores," and then I would go do that.
All right, so
good to see you as well. And Jonathan said he's drinking a Philosophy and Velocity East Coast Edition from Omegang. Cheers.
Yeah, that's a collab from Omegang and AleSmith.
Nice.
Ooh, nice. Right.
Greg, you may or may not be getting one of those in the mail soon.
Oh, I haven't had that with forever.
My buddy EV actually knows about my history and bologna sandwiches. He heard bologna sandwiches. He wouldn't have a wish sandwich. Actually, I've had friends that have had wish sandwiches back in the day.
I've never heard of a wish sandwich.
It's wish sandwiches. It was like 2 pieces of bread, and what my friends did, it was 2 pieces of bread and mayonnaise, and they wish they had meat to put on it. That was I used to have friends that would drink sugar water as a kid. Like,
I wish it had meat.
Wow. And they're like, "You want some sugar water?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they just put like a teaspoon of sugar in water. It's like, no, I don't want. Like, there's no lemonade or anything with it. It's just sugar water. Like, no.
No, can I give you the I didn't say poor. I always said lower middle class, which is just poor. I'm going to tell you one that my mom.
That's poor with the job.
Yeah. So, my mom used to make this, and I still love it. And it's cinnamon sugar toast, where you mix cinnamon and sugar together, and then you toast bread and put butter on it, and then you put the cinnamon sugar on it.
Oh,
like cinnamon toast crunch, but bread.
Yeah.
And that was like an inexpensive way to let's get your kids all hopped up on sugar and get your day started.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. I wish I would have known that. Damn, that would have been a real treat.
And it's delicious. I'm telling you, it's still delicious to this day.
Right.
I mean, you could have something like that. You're like maybe like a little bit of a syrup French toast or something with it. Gilbert's and toast with spice.
Jesus, Gilbert, what the hell?
Gilbert's a big boy now. I wonder why, right?
That sounds awesome now, not as a child.
Right.
That's great, good.
Right
now.
During the pandemic, that sounds amazing.
Well, Gilbert's in Canada, so the surprise is, how did he not have maple syrup on it? Because they love maple syrup up there.
Mm-hmm.
My
child, I love that shit too.
Cinnamon and sugar. You're right.
Sugar, yeah.
Cinnamon and sugar. Wow.
I wonder if your Canadian friend had like a poutine sandwich or something at some point.
Oh.
He's had a lot of stuff, I'm sure. I don't know if he ever put it on a sandwich, but I know he's had poutine for sure, which I love a good poutine. Although theirs is a little bit different, they say in Canada and ours. That's slightly, I believe, but
gotta have duck grease or duck gravy. Excuse me.
Oh, duck gravy, yeah.
Oh.
Cooking duck fat to add the extra
gravy and cheese curds. That's the actual cheese curds. So yeah.
Yes, Rod. Yes. So
I guess I'm hungry. Is what I'm saying.
Well, during this course of the show, people do get like we haven't talked about food tonight as much as I usually do on the show, but people usually get hungry watching the show.
We talk about so Rod. So again, before we get out of here, Rod, one of the things that we talk about too, one of the things that divides me and Doug more than anything in the fucking world is whether you use a top sheet or not. Have we talked about this before or not?
Yeah, we did that on the show there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell all your people whether you use a top sheet or not and why.
Yeah, I mean, it's a top, but it's usually it's a 50-50 half and half situation because it's a top sheet but the foot's out because I like it cool. So
you're one of these foot out people.
Foot out, yeah. I would actually still have the arrow on it if my wife would let me. I like it nice.
Is it 1 foot or 2?
I was using just one. Yeah, like I said,
the 1 foot regulates your entire body.
The one that's toward the edge of the bed, like yeah.
Right. So wait. What'd you say about the lady? She doesn't like the top sheet, or what?
No, I was saying I like it cool. Like I run a ceiling fan, and even right now it's like 60 something outside, 58. I would still have the arrow on to keep it like around 65 in the house if I could. But,
you're one of those chilly dudes.
Yeah.
So then, where's the lady at? Is she she down?
She's like it's too cold. It's too cold. So she open the windows up now, and then which is still fine, but I like to keep it nice and cool.
Okay,
which is nice and cool. You sleep better too.
Okay, so then you got a top sheet on, and then what? She got the comforter and a top sheet.
Well, we got the comforter and the top sheet.
Oh, okay.
We got the comforter and the top sheet. So,
and
at times I can kick it off during the night too. So depending.
Who is the stealer of all the sheets? You or her?
I was her. It's always isn't it the woman? I thought always the woman.
I thought it was always the woman, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I will say not in my case. It's
you're the stealer.
You sleep with a sheet.
Yeah, but there's sometimes where
he doesn't use a top sheet. Let's just go there.
I don't use a top sheet. That's useless. That's nonsense. So let's move on.
Wait a minute. You have steal the comforter, but no top sheet?
Yeah, we have a duvet on our comforter.
I didn't know that. I thought you just had no sheet at all. Yeah, you gotta have a top sheet before the comforter.
Right. It's creepy, Rod.
You're not a hotel.
Let him go.
No, we're not a hotel.
Hotel is a different beast. That is a place I will use a top sheet.
Well, the hotel you don't want the blanket. You want the top sheet at the hotel.
You have to have the top sheet in the hotel. There's nobody questions that part.
Yeah. Although, wait, Craig, we did have several people who did, and we were like, even I was like,
yeah,
that's not okay.
Yeah, unless you run your own. Unless you run your own blue light, you probably wouldn't take the top sheet off the bed.
But didn't our friend Aaron Govea say, Doug, like that's the first thing he takes off is the top sheet. We're like, what?
Like, no, it was not Aaron, it was Jay.
Oh, and that was your podcast partner?
That was my podcast partner, Jay. He was like, yeah, I take that shit right off. And I'm like,
Jay. I love me some Jay, but that's just too much.
Yeah, that was like, you know.
So Rod, let me if you don't mind, Doug, can you at least say a little bit about your podcast?
Yeah, so we're actually Jay and I are going to start picking that up again this weekend. We're going to be doing new episodes of it. It's called the Parental Dad Advisory Podcast.
Nice.
So we did a first season. We started second season, then COVID hit, and a million other things hit all at once for both our families. So that kind of got sidelined for a little bit. We're going to be picking it up with a friend of ours who is a teacher. So he's going to talk to us about how he is dealing with COVID, where he has to teach, and it's the remote teaching and all that stuff, and he has kids. So he's got a whole bunch of stuff on his plate. So we're going to be picking that up this weekend. I don't know when that's going to start because, we have to edit it and put it together. But yeah, we're picking that up, and that is a whole ton of fun. It's a different podcast, different show than what Greg and I do, because it focuses largely on parenting. It's not always that. We did a geek podcast where we talked about like the Marvel Comics universe, and like it just depends on what we want to talk about. But our first one back is with the teacher and talking to him about how he's coping with the pandemic and how he's dealing with it as a teacher and a parent. So yeah.
Is that on iTunes or?
That's on all, whether you want Spotify,
or-
Stitcher, whatever. Yeah, it's a parental advisory podcast. Yeah, that is, again, it's one of those things where we started and we just had so much fun doing it. And we took a couple month break to do it like a second season. And then, like I said, everything just kind of went all to hell from a lot of different perspectives. So, you know, we're looking forward to delving back into it. So it's going to be fun.
Nice. Gilbert said maple syrup is for the waffles. But he says the Quebec poutine is mean stuff, just gravy, fries, and cheese curds. I think we put on more than that on our stuff. So yeah. And then right there, see, Jonathan's right there with me, foot out for sure. So gotta get that foot out. But speaking of stuff, so you mentioned Marvel. Are you guys big Marvel fans? Are you into the Marvel comics, the movies?
Movies for me, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I was just curious. I mean, they got the new stuff coming. Well, we don't know when it's coming out because it all got pushed back from the Marvel movies and stuff. But they got some interesting things happening. So I'm big into watching like a lot of the Marvel type movies when they come out as well. And the big thing right now is when they're going to introduce the X-Men into the universe with the other characters. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Did they introduce Doctor Strange into, was it the Spider-Man universe? Did I get that right?
Spider-Man universe. He came in like with the Avengers and stuff. And then next one, I think is like pushed back to 2022 now and stuff. The new Batman movie got pushed back as well. But I was watching the thing earlier today, and one of my favorite characters growing up, because I used to be big in the comics back in the day, was Wolverine. They're talking about the relaunch of a new Wolverine because Hugh Jackman said he's done, which is going to be kind of a hard play because everybody's going to think of Hugh Jackman playing him. Like, there's certain roles that you just identify with, like Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, Angelina Jolie, Tomb Raider. You know, there's some people that are just born into certain roles that it's hard to. So it's going to be a little tough, but it'll be interesting because they're planning to introduce him in like the next like Marvel universe, like 4 or 5 or whatever they call it. But they're talking about it being an arch nemesis, or I'm saying, what do you call anti-hero Wolverine? You know, kind of like.
Yeah, but he was kind of that in the Wolverine movies, wasn't he?
He kind of was, but now it's more like, you know, kind of like boozing it up or, you know, cussing people out, killing people, like not without hesitation and kind of stuff. They tried to tame him out, I think, because now they found, hey, we can make R-rated movies and they'll still sell. Because after Deadpool, after Blade, you know, all these other movies that came out, that they're like, we can actually push that envelope now. So it'll be interesting to see if they take him to a level like they did with the Punisher and some of these other characters when they put him in an R movie. Like Logan was really good and he was killing people in there. So this is an interesting thing there.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get out of here, like I said, I did have other questions actually planned here for sure.
So,
but
fire away.
Probably like 11:05. I was like, man, it's rolling here. Well, Greg's an hour behind, so he's like, hey, it's only like 10 o'clock here. What's going on? So
Yeah,
me and Doug are like East Coast. Like,
hey, as you said earlier, it is a short commute to work for both of us.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Let me see. Where was my one question I had here? Okay, here you go for both of you. So if you were making a 6-pack of beers, which ones would you include is what I meant to say there.
Right.
Which ones would you include? You're making a 6-pack. Which ones would you include?
Are we talking specific beers or are we talking styles?
I mean, I was looking at specific beers, but if you can come up with that, if that's too challenging, and you want styles.
Huh?
you always pick with Doug.
No, I'll start. That's fine.
I always keep the dog usually. Is what happens,
Yeah. That's because I'm light on my feet. No. So if I'm going to start, obviously I'm going to start with the Dragon's Milk. Another one I put in there is Warhorse Brewing in New York. They put out a Scotch ale called Royal Kilt Inspector, which is probably the best Scotch ale I've ever had. And if I'm going to go porter, I got to have one of those. Man, there's a lot of good ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Is like, oh man, I could pick up 15 different porters. Yeah, I don't know. Let me get back to that one because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick different styles because I want to have different things. I'm going to probably pick Heady Topper for a pale ale. They classify it as an IPA, but I don't think that is an IPA. I don't think it's hoppy enough. Heady Topper is really good. I'm going to pick Binghamton Brew Works Purple Rain Gosa, which is a great Gosa. That's made with Concord grapes, and it's phenomenal.
Great name too.
Yeah, it is. And Greg was there. That's a really different and cool little place.
Which one?
It was Binghamton Brew Works. We went there.
Oh, it was the last one we went to that night.
Yeah, and that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I have? I have a stout. I have Gosa.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg, you know what I'm gonna pick? I'm gonna pick that Pilsner we had at High Seas.
Yeah, give me that one too.
Yeah, because that was probably one of the best Pilsners I've had. Wow, that was so snappy. And I can't. What's that?
Was it the CC Pounder? That sound familiar?
I don't know. Greg bought a 6-pack of it. It was that good. We were both like, wow, that was probably we each did 5 beers, and that was probably my second or third favorite beer out of all of them. It was delicious.
Yeah, we're sad.
And I'm gonna pick a Belgian quad, a chocolate quad.
Oh, the chocolate quad. Okay,
from Castile, which that chocolate quad.
Have you had the raspberry chocolate?
I had not, but the chocolate quad from Castile is just.
Yeah, try the raspberry chocolate from Castile.
And boy, I don't know what else I would pick then. Like I said, porter, you could give me almost any porter, and I'll be happy. So,
what are your favorite style?
Yeah, porter is probably my favorite style because it lends itself to the smoky and roastiness, which is kind of similar to Scotch if you like smoky or peaty ones. So that's probably going to be if I pick a style and say that's my favorite style. I don't drink it all the time. Just because I think it's my favorite doesn't mean it's like where I'm going to gravitate. I generally gravitate towards stouts only because stouts have a lot of variants because there's so much you can do with them. I don't think porters are quite as versatile, but that's okay. Yeah, can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
So,
Mad Ale, Christmas ale.
Oh yeah, wasn't there just something posted about Mad Elf in one of the group? Was that your group though today or something? Somebody posted.
I sent it to our private group. I was like, "Hey guys, guess what time it is?" I saw a whole display of Mad Elf. I was like, and I bought a 6-pack of that. So
is it just me and you that enjoy Mad Elf? Like, is everybody else hating on it? Because I think Mad Elf's pretty tasty.
I really like it. But
yes, Rod.
You and me, Rod. High five from afar.
Yes, Rod. To keep it clear and quick. Yeah, yes. The Heavy Seas pills is called Pounder pills. Did we say that?
That's what I was saying. Pounder. When I was asking. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, it was in that brewery right there. It was so snappy and so crisp and so like it had that Rod, when you get a good pills, it has that snap at the end. You know what I mean? It's kind of like not a you know what I mean? Again, it doesn't have that much flavor. It has enough flavor to keep you going. But at the end it has that snap where you're just like it grabs you a little bit. Like a great IPA will do that to you too, which is you're drinking it, you're tasting it, and at the end it's just like it has that little snap. So I don't know. I'm gonna jump off on some big ones. And what I mean by big ones, I mean ones that most people know. We'll go with the Pounder pills. That's a great one. I'm always a fan of Two Hearted Bells. Beautiful beer. Especially if you're a big hops guy. I'm gonna go with there's no reason not to go with Dragon's Milk. Everybody knows that one. I'm gonna stick with the regular one though, not the flavor ones, and I'm also stick with the what is that one called, Doug? The Double Reserve, or the what I mean? It's not there's no flavor in it. It's like a reserve, or it's a it's just a normal stout, but doesn't have anything added to it.
It's a bourbon. Their standard's like a bourbon barrel aged stout. That's all it is. It's just, but it's really good.
Right. And I don't know, porter. The closest porter around here is Mud Puppy Porter. Is Central Waters' porter. I don't know if you guys ever had that one, but I should. I mean, it's just a classic style, a classic way to do that style. I think I got 4 in there. There needs to be a sour in here somewhere for me because I'm a sour fan. So we can go across seas on that one. We can do I don't know, man. I like framboise, which are raspberry sours. More than really anything else, you got creeks, which are really, really good too. I like a creek.
Yeah.
And I don't even like cherries. I know you guys like cherries because you're in the Mad Elf group over there, or cherry beers. But more of a sour one. I'm Rod, you probably know, and I know Doug knows for sure. I'm a well-rounded guy as far as liking the style, so I'm kind of all over the place. Didn't you say Pliny the Elder?
Pliny, yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, so I'm a hobby beer guy, but I'm a malt guy too, so I'm kind of all over the place.
You're all over with it.
I'm all over.
Shout out to Jules. Cheers. Good to see you, our friend, as well.
What's up, Jules?
Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting 6-pack.
Yeah. It's tough during COVID because I'm just still doing the curbside mostly. So not mostly, I am. So then I get, I'm back to getting a 6-pack. So I usually get during the COVID, I get 4 or 5 6-packs. I want 4 or 5 different beers. So then that's how we go. And my beer trips seem to be more expensive, but what I'm not calculating is, all the flights and the stuff that I would get at the brewery. You know what I mean? Like if I was out of the brewery, I'd be getting flights and food and all that.
Shirts and gear and
shirts and gear and all that.
Yeah. You ever come to Cincinnati? I'll show you a place where you freaking never want to leave. That's Jungle Gyms.
Next, one of the conferences that I go to. One of the conferences that I go to is Home Dad Con, which is a bunch of dads who stay at home. That is in Cincinnati next year. I think it's this weekend. So I will be in Cincinnati next year.
Nice.
Post-COVID. So yeah, it's gonna happen, Robert.
Yeah. And we've got 60-something breweries here too, by the way. So.
Yeah. I usually come in 2 days before the conference and try to stay a day after. So we got that, bro.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the Bloggers Writers Conference. I haven't been to that. I'm on the list for inside the directory and all kind of stuff the last few years. I need to go to one of those at some point. So
yes, you do.
I was going to go to the one, I think it was in Astro a few years ago, but I didn't get a chance to get down for that one. I just need to get it done. That's the one they went to Dogfish Head, I think. That was might be one in Maryland. It was where Sam was there. And did some stuff, and
I was there. It was amazing.
Yeah. So that's on my list to get to that. And
you got it, man. You got to
see me come up in that and everything. So,
yep.
Let me see here. And Jonathan says Cincy Home Dad Con. He said 25th Home Dad Con.
Wow, 25th. That's interesting.
Please come to Home Dad Con. You'll be welcome with open arms. Well, thanks, Jonathan. Said I don't have kids, so I could be a dad.
You can be a guest of honor.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but I have a nephew we kind of support and stuff down in Texas. He's in college now, but yeah, as far as kids, never really went that route. So not that I'm aware of. I never got a call or anything. So but no, that's cool. So like Doug said, his favorite style is probably porter. What about you, Greg? But your name's Daddy Porter. Is it porter that's your favorite style though?
No. It was when I started my blog for sure.
Yeah.
It's always kind of going to be one of my top 3 styles, but I don't know. I'm a hophead, so
who cares? Come anyway.
Yeah. That's seriously. Anyway, no, it's one of my it's one of my top ones. I always look for it, but I'm a hop head too, so it's easier almost to it's easier to fill my hop obsession more than it is to fill my porter obsession. Porter seems to be a style that I wouldn't say dying, but it's kind of and stouts have taken over porters, and stouts are bigger and more flavors and what everybody else is doing. So yes, porters is one of my favorite, but I would have to say IPA. If you had to say if I had to drink one style the rest of my life, it would be IPA because there's so many different. You know what I mean? You got black IPA, you got sour IPA, you got white IPA, you got double IPA, you got session IPA, you got you feel me, Rod? Like,
but are you a fan of the Brute IPA?
no, that's the one I don't. True. Truth.
That is a love me or hate me style. That's a love me or hate me style for sure.
Yeah, it's the whiny part of it, Rod, is not my thing.
Now you're saying, yeah, you get like a white wine type feel or champagne type feel.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right. But I understand the appeal that people like about it. I got it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I actually had a really decent one a couple years back. We went up to Ohio. It's so cool because my wife had to travel for work sometimes, so I'll go travel with her. She's off at conferences, and I'm at the breweries, and so it works out good for me. Free hotel, come back, relax, sleep it off. But went to Black Cloister Brewing up in Northern Ohio and met the brewer there, and we went through like all the beers they actually had there. Like he was bringing all kinds of samples, and we did a video shoot, and it was really cool. But they had a brewed IPA that was really a little bit more smoother than kind of those ones that are more prickly or so that you usually get. And they did a really good job on theirs. And that's why you have to go to breweries sometimes, because the good shit's at the breweries and not just what they're putting in packaging. You go to so many breweries to find out stuff that you can't get unless you're there. So that's why it's even more important to get out and visit your local spots. But it's like I haven't been to a brewery. Well, I haven't been drinking in the brewery probably since March, I think. I picked up stuff for breweries, but just to sit there in the brewery and get some stuff.
Yeah, same. Very much the same.
Yeah. But then I have like a beer cellar here where I have so many beers. It's almost like for me to do stuff and do the videos, cost effective. I mean, I like being on location doing stuff because that's always a blast. It's kind of funny. I don't know how many times if you guys have shot video like out on location and stuff. It's always kind of an interesting experience because some people are kind of curious, like, hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And oh, that's pretty cool. They would have, they talk to you and all kind of stuff. And you meet other people from the industry when they find out you're there doing stuff. So it's kind of cool along those lines. But sometimes you just want to chill in the house, enjoy a nice beer, talk about that beer, and just kick back and relax. So, but once all this other stuff kind of breaks, I'll probably try to get out there some more. But we'll see what happens. Gilbert said Brute works better in Saison, which with that farm type feel, coming out of Champagne, France, that kind of style. And,
yeah, you almost accept that whininess out of a Saison more than you do out of an IPA. And that's my problem with it.
And that makes you think, why didn't they come up with a brute Saison instead of a brute IPA?
I think it's more about, I think they're more just trying to get a different, like, I think they're trying to get people into the IPAs. So if you want to, someone who likes wine, you can easily just, they walk into your bar, you can easily just offer them a brute IPA. And it's not probably, the brute, again, the most brute IPAs that I've had weren't super hoppy. They're very approachable, actually. But I think, it's more of an approachable IPA. So you can sneak that in there. It's kind of like I'm not trying to even broach that seltzer thing, but it's kind of like a seltzer, where a seltzer is kind of like a walk into beer a little bit.
That carbonation.
Yeah, the carbonation. And again, the less, to me, seltzers are known, for me, they're known for their less flavor, and they're less calories and stuff, and it's a lighter thing, so you can have a couple more.
Yeah. Well, like I said, seltzer's definitely booming in the market, so people are definitely selling them, and breweries are putting them out that I'm sure they thought they never put them out, but they are now because people like to drink them. So It's like Joe Dirt, as once in a while we make reference to Joe Dirt on the show, which I think is one of the funniest movies that is underappreciated as a movie out there. It's not about you, it's about the consumer. You know, the guy says he only likes sparklers, and Joe Dirt's telling him it's not about you. Mm-hmm. I like to have a Joe Dirt reference once in a while, you know. It's such a dumb movie. It actually becomes funny after a point when you see that. It's just kind of a perfect laying on the couch Saturday afternoon movie where you don't want to get up and do anything and there's no game or anything on. You're like, oh, I'll just sit here and I'll just laugh. And your wife was like, why are you watching this movie? Because I'm like, it's funny. And she's like, no, it's not. Like, yeah, it is in a dumb way. Yeah. Sometimes you let that mindless humor, you don't have to think about it, right? It's just so stupid to laugh. But there you go. Exactly. But yeah, but I think we'll go ahead and get ready to get wrapped down here, and appreciate both of you being on here. And then the one thing I had on here, like I said, I had planned all this upcoming stuff. So upcoming things for your channel, like what do you have planned upcoming? Anything you want to talk about or note? Upcoming interviews or chats or beers you're going to be trying?
Doug, you already spoke about your podcast, right?
I did.
Okay, cool. Upcoming, so this week is Doug's, on Friday is Doug's first week where he's not going to be on the show. So me and Casey, who is from Canada, will be locking down the show on Friday, so that's good. As I mentioned before, on Halloween, we're going to have a politics show. Doug and I have not talked politics on our show. We usually either shy away from it or we touch it around the edges. We've talked about Black Lives Matter. We talk about all kinds of things on it, but we're just gonna have a good politics show, covering all kinds of topics. We'll do some Trump talk, but mostly I kind of want to move on past him if that's possible. And there's really so many other things that we have going on in today's politics, whether it be the Senate flipping, whether it be access to polls, whether it be people trying to not have people access to polls, whether it be polling itself. That polling itself is a polarizing conversation, whether you believe in them or not, whether you trust them or not, whether 16 is something you should trust or not, whether we should trust them now, all that stuff. So it's gonna be a good time. Hopefully, Rod, you can we'll probably do a Rod length type of
show,
couple hours, little marathon. We're gonna have StreamYard allows you to have 10 people on at once, so I'm gonna try to push that. We're gonna try to have different points of view, not just a Trump bashing point of view, which is favorable for me. but there's other options. There's other people out there. Other conversations. So that's on October. October 31st, Halloween. I'm not expecting Halloween to be a big thing this year. I'm hoping it's not, because I want people to, again, not spread the COVID as much as we can, and we need to get out of this, people. So yeah, and I'm currently in school, Rod. I'm doing the Siebel Institute advanced brewing course, which is what most professional brewers do, and that shit's got my mind all messed up. So we're doing, until I get through that, which is November, we're going to tamp it down. But also, though, Rod, we're going to do a video game show, which I hope you're involved in. We're going to work on that. We're going to work on a schedule. But I want because Rod's good at people. I don't have to tell Rod's people that Rod's good at getting deals, and Rod's whether it be beer deals, whether it be video game deals. So we're going to have Rod on. He's going to talk to us about, hopefully, with the video games. Maybe things will clear up with the PS5 and the Xbox. Maybe there's some deals for Black Friday and Christmas coming up, or some ways that people can
Amazon Prime Day today, right now. So don't forget.
Prime Day. I don't know what's going on as far as that goes, but yeah. So we're gonna have a video game day. So those are the things that we got going. Just trying to come to the end of the year here, and but I want to thank you, Rod, for having us on and being able to showcase what we do. And Doug's got his podcast, and he's an awesome host on our show. So yeah.
No, it was great having you guys on. Doug, anything you want to add for any upcoming podcast? I know you talked about the dad and everything, the conference.
Yeah, well, the Dad Blogger conference thing, we had the Dad Blogger conference that just happened. That was virtual. The person that they're having on this week, who I unfortunately can't be part of the show with, is part of the National Home Dad. I'm going to say that National At Home Dad Network.
Yeah, you got it right.
All right. I time's a flat circle, and I've been racking my brain on technical documentation for 2 days. So my brain's a little mush, so I can't think of who we have on after that. So apologies there.
Oh,
yeah, join us on Fridays, man. It's 9 p.m. Eastern time. We just drink beer or drink drinks, and we talk to whoever we have on, and we just have a blast. And it goes much like our conversation night, wherever it goes. We don't really have a structure, and that's kind of what we love about it. Is we just go all over the place, and it's fun.
Yeah, Rod. We've been mixing in Karen videos lately.
Wow, there's no shortage of those out there.
No,
right. A lot of them are. I like to pick ones, Rod, that are interesting. Like, because Karens are screaming and hollering either about racism or this and that. I like try to get like, obviously that's an issue, but I try to have clips that are just beyond that. Like, there's other stuff going on. Last week we had some lady screaming N-word, 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 and N-words don't matter. But she was literally sitting there with like what was it, Doug? Like a bowl of chili.
Bowl of chili with a cigarette hanging off underneath the bowl of chili.
Screaming an N-word, you're an N-word. And so we stopped and we're like, wait, let's get past the N-word thing. Like, what is she holding? What is this woman doing?
It was so weird.
If she had a Nazi tattoo. She had a swastika
tattoo down on her abdomen.
Yeah,
her pant line.
She showed everybody her tattoo. It was a mess, Rod. Like, these Karen videos are just. So we have those too to mix it in and to get like a, because we don't tell anybody what we're going to show. So that usually gets like a different, it gets a different perspective from the our guests. And Doug too, because he doesn't know what's going to happen. So
I have no idea. He just drops it, and I just have to watch.
Right. So when you just drop a video that's crazy, you get to see people's reaction, and you get there. You know what I mean? You throw people off a little bit. So the Karen videos have been fun too lately. So, and they're not going away. So we'll be doing those too.
No, it's kind of almost a freak show out there, stuff you're seeing right now, and I expect it to actually grow more as we head towards November 3rd.
Oh,
yeah, November 3rd will be the election day. So it's crazy, but it's funny you mentioned a beer course. I'm actually taking a course right now, which I need to catch up on this week. It just started last week, but I'm doing the science of beer. So there's this website. It's called edX, and you can take courses from all around the world from different universities. And essentially, if you want to get certified for it, you can pay for certification, so they grade you out like a college course or like that and everything. But at the end, you get a certificate. So it increases your knowledge. So the science of beer is what I'm taking right now, and is basically looking into the development of the beer, the science process as it breaks down, the distribution of the beer, the packaging of it, how you move it from one to so. And it's done from over. I want to say from the accent of some of the people. I'm thinking it might be like the university might be in Belgium or something like that, but they do it from, Penn State here, Purdue, Columbia, whatever it may be, and they have schools that do it from overseas. So that's what I'm kind of doing right now. It's kind of interesting because there's actually some things I am picking up, because my whole thing was, do I want to go the Cicerone route? Do I want to do the certified beer server thing and then go Cicerone, or I want to try to do some other stuff? So I figured this would be kind of a cool course to check out, and then I'll probably pay to get certified from taking the course. So I'll put that on my LinkedIn type stuff or as a certification. But there's always knowledge out there to be had. And at some point, what I'm doing, how I share the information is I want to share information and also increase my knowledge. So I feel like we can always be learning something. So that's what I decided to finally pull the trigger and do. So
for sure.
But no, you can always get out there and do something. And if you want to do the course or any of their courses for free, you can do them for free. And basically you'll still go through and you'll be part of it is completing it. You just have to pay if you want a certificate, which is like $49 or something, I think, which isn't bad. And they have some courses you can do like a master's degree and stuff like that as well. Those cost a little bit more. Like they have scholarships and all kinds of stuff they work with you on, but just increase that knowledge base. I can bring more stuff to my peeps here. And shout out to Arizona. Buddy's out there. He's out in Arizona. He's actually a Buckeye fan. So he's actually waiting another week after this weekend. His Buckeyes will start to play ball for the Big Ten. So, which is no longer the Big Ten because of the teams they got in there. Pac-12, I mean. But it was great having you guys on for sure. Great kicking it with, like I said, first time I had you guys on here. I've been on your guys' show numerous times, and just wanted to kind of share the knowledge from what you guys are doing and how you're doing things out there in beer. And definitely people that watch, check out Greg, check out Doug and the stuff they're doing on Daddy Porter or like Doug's podcast. The link is right there as well in the chat too. And I think with that, we'll go ahead and get this baby wrapped up. Thanks for everybody that tuned in and watched and all the comments, and we'll look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. And for Arizona, he says OH because he expects you to say IO because that's what they do for Ohio State, even though
right.
I always give him the complimentary IO back to his OH. So let's see what his Buckeyes do here to Corona season. So
thanks, Rod.
Thanks, Rod. Great. Thank you
both. Thanks for everybody else out there. Look forward to catching with you guys soon. And before I go off tomorrow night, just so those that are still watching, I'll be back again. This is a busy week for me. So tomorrow night, I've got Anthony Perry Jr. on, who is think of his channel name, with Sizzle. He's actually going to be starting a brewery up 2 hours from me up in Ohio. So he's been into the beer stuff. He's actually in Daddy Porter's group, I think. He's in other groups with us as well. If he's not in your group, I'll definitely get him in. But we're going to be talking about him starting a brewery, him on his journey, what he has planning coming your way. And so that'll be another fun thing. So tomorrow night, I'll be back with some more beers. And then then it'll be Thursday. I'll be back again Thursday. I probably won't do anything this weekend because it's just like my wife's like, "You're doing another show?" Yeah, I got another show tonight. So it's always fun. It's always great seeing you guys. Always great talking and chatting. And thanks to everybody that tuned in. Look forward to that. And I will see you guys soon. Cheers.